GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, poor body.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
We started doing this this butcher box, which is
Butcher
actually pretty
Box.
cool. Yeah.
Is that a subscription service?
It is a subscription. It comes like this huge
That's awesome.
box, and it comes with a bunch of meats and stuff. And
Nice.
we got some. I don't know if you saw remember those steaks I showed you at one point. I said those were like some thick ass steaks.
The one that you showed me how to see that you
tried
told,
mine.
okay,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
actually how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Got that. It comes with a pork butt. It comes with a pork loin, a huge pork loin. A bunch of
Wow.
pork chops. We got a bunch of ground beef, a package of bacon. It's a subscription service. Yeah.
The
We
butcher.
did the like the not the biggest, but like the one of the big ones, like $200 something, and it comes with a lot of shit. Comes with a lot of stuff. You can mix and match the stuff in there. Remove stuff.
Oh,
or
it's
double it up
not
or
a loot
something.
box? I thought it
It's
was
not-
like loot
no,
box
it's not
stuff.
like a loot box. No.
Ah.
This is it's a complete flexibility. Let me see. We usually push it out. 8 weeks is the turnaround time from one box to the other, but we normally push it out because we end up having so much fucking meat. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, I like this, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Because
oh, you can when you push it out, you have like you can push it out for 4 weeks, push it out for a certain amount of time.
okay, it doesn't feel like you're pressuring to like
Correct,
getting
correct,
it.
yeah.
Okay. Dude, I really like this because aquí se compra carne, and if it's just gonna be like fucking.
And you have a freezer, right? Like a separate freezer.
Oh yeah, I do. No. What do you mean a separate freezer? Like a
a
its
freezer,
own
like-
independent one?
Yeah, in a separate freezer.
No. No. I used to have one or I do have one in the other house, but not here. Over here is
okay,
la
that's why I
nevera con
remember
el
seeing it.
nevera con el freezer. Yeah.
What?
They have a box for $149 for two.
For what?
Two people.
Oh, the
Two people,
box is
$149?
$149. Yeah, there's a box that's $149. It's actually
So
meant
she
for
has
two
a lot of information. Did she find this out?
Oh yeah, this is all her idea, bro. Yeah, this is all her.
Oh, I ask her. Is there a referral code that I should be
She
using?
is. I mean, I'm the one who's paying for it.
We get a $30 off.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real episode
76.
76. Yep. GG's the Awful Podcast.
They call me the Butcher Box also.
They call you the Butcher Box.
Yes.
The Butcher Box, also
That's right.
known as Dream Twister.
Dream Twister. I want to change my gamer tag. I want to be known as the Butcher Box. You think that's copywritten? You think that's trademarked? Probably.
I mean, for a gamer tag? No. I'm
Yes.
sure. Hell, I'm
for
sure
gamer
it
tag.
actually exists already.
The Butcher Box 69. All
Yep.
right. Yes,
it
that's
is.
gonna be there.
Oh, welcome
Friend
back, guys.
request.
Thank you so much again for tuning in. It has been quite a shitty week. I think we can all agree. This is definitely a reprieve. To just be able to sit back, enjoy some of this 4 Hops beer, and chat with my very best friend regarding all the silly shit that we do when we're not working.
4 hops. That sounds like 3 hops too many. That's gonna be
actually-
bitter city.
It's it is fairly, it is bitter, but it is a double IPA, so it's
Oh,
I mean,
My
an IPA is
favorite.
already a lot for certain folk, so this is a double.
what do you call what I like then? A quarter IPA?
What you like brown ales, right? That's your thing.
There you go. That's my thing. Yeah, I definitely I like the brown ales.
I think you would actually be down with sours as well. You just haven't had many sours. Sours
I
is a whole-
don't.
it's a whole new, very new beer, and by new I mean
Oh.
it's been a few years now.
Oh, okay.
that
You're
is
not
just
trying to get me to drink White Claw or
no. White Claws are not beer. They're not beer at
It's just
all, man.
like, okay, this the trendy beer of the week. It's
No.
like,
These are actually just a different. It's basically it tastes. The beer itself tastes like a sour drink almost. But it's
ooh.
brewed in many of the same ways. It's it's fermented and all that stuff is done the same way. It's just it uses material, specifically one I want to say is lactose, in its brewing
Ooh.
process, which is very different. And
Mm.
it's one of those things that once you use your equipment to start making sours, you cannot go back to making regular beer because your lines and everything are now they're never gonna it's always gonna come out bad now because now you can only make sours essentially.
Now they're all cursed.
Pretty
Now
much, yeah. There's a brewery over here in it's Longwood, I think it's Hourglass Brewing, which is actually a pretty cool little spot. They opened up a spot right next door to them called Sour Glass Brewing.
Oh,
But it's because and they have to put it because the same tanks and everything that they use for the regular beer, you can't use it if you're going to be using
can't
it.
mix it. Sounds like they found out the hard way.
I'm sure many folks ran into that issue. And early
You
on,
don't cross the streams. You're gonna create.
yeah, it's exactly
That's what
pretty
happened.
much, yeah. But I think honestly you would dig some sours. So if you ever happen to notice one, or maybe next time we
I'll have to know. I'll have to.
just ask. Do you guys
I
have
have to
any
real.
sour
Okay.
beers? Yeah.
Sour beers. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. Because that's it might sound like it's similar to bitter beers, which is the ones that I'm not a big fan of. I can have them, don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna pick them up the first thing on the menu.
The technical name is called a goes. Like you have your IPAs, you have your browns, you have your lagers. The technical name of a sour.
I
is
like
called
lagers
goes.
also.
Goes
Okay.
is a GOSE. And so
That's how it goes, basically.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
gotcha.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Anyway,
that was the part of the beer. That's the beer.
The beer, yeah.
We used to remember when.
Yeah,
Exactly. We used to have the. What are we drinking? Right now, fucking fucking Crystal Springs purified water.
Wow.
Purified in parentheses.
We're not sure what that means. Yeah.
We're not sure. It tastes great. You know what? I used to never had a problem before. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. I was very used to tap water, so I had no problem. Like you go to a house and you offer me. I mean, shit, our water tasted like sofrito because of how we will put it. We will get it right from the tap and put it in the jug directly in the refrigerator with the open sofrito things and whatnot. But
I had
no problem
from New York City. And believe it or not, I think a lot of people who have never been or know anything about New York City will probably doubt this statement. But New York City has probably the best tap water. I would definitely say in the United States, but I would go so far as say probably even in the world. I've
heard that before.
Yeah, they have the best tap water. It could be because it's purposely kept that way. It's completely treated. Mm-hmm. It's completely. I think they put like fluoride or some weird shit in it. I don't know what it is, but it is the best tasting tap water. It tastes like you would pour out a bottle of spring water. It tastes just like that. Maybe even better.
All the impurities are dumped into the Verrazano River or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like of all the cities, which I can tell you right now, New York is probably one of the dirtiest cities just in general. But
our water is.
But the water is just as excellent. Yeah. But coming down here to Florida, let me tell you, bro, I was like, what the hell is wrong with the water here?
I know what the hell is wrong with the water, indeed, because I can't have it. I can't stand it. It's all it feels like you're having chalk, you know, when you're having the water.
It's like somebody has to fix these lines. I don't know what it is. Something's up here, and I don't know. So yeah, You're right. Yeah.
But I didn't have the problem differentiating between what, because that's another thing. It's like, oh, Savory Hill. No, thank you. I only drink Dasani. I didn't have that problem
I don't have
at
that
all.
issue
Like
either.
water was water. But now I feel it though. That's the problem. I think there's like an addictive additive that they add, an addictive additive that they add. There you go, in this ad, to the crystal water, to the crystal spring water, where it's not even great, but it's the only one that I can have now.
It's all I want, though.
It's all I want. It's like, it's not even great. I'm not gonna defend it like, oh, it's the best water you taste. It's like, no, if you're tasting water, there's something already wrong with it. Unless it's supposed to be flavored, like some, vitamin waters and crap like that. But or smart water. God.
Oh God. Yeah.
How smart was it that I spent $7 on this bottle of water? But that makes me smart. No offense to anybody that buys smart water. I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't mean offense either, but guys, think about it for a moment. Just think about it. That's it.
It's water. You're paying money for water. Your whole body is 80% water.
80% water, yeah. And we're paying $2 a bottle for crap, yeah.
Canned air. Soon enough, we're gonna have canned air like Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Like in Spaceballs. And they just open it up the can, click, and that is fresh canned water fresh canned air from Druidia, from the planet Druidia.
Yeah, Druidia, right. Oh my God, such a good movie.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks so much again for tuning in. If this is your first time, please first go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. Takes you, of course, right to our awesome Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into a bunch of news items, and then, of course, we finish with the hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic: updating gaming lingo.
Oh shit! Wait,
yeah.
We're gonna update it then.
Yeah, we're gonna Webster's Dictionary this bad boy.
We're gonna be the academy for the lingo. Holy crap!
Yeah.
For the gaming lingo. Okay.
I knew of a lot of them. At least I thought I did. And then you do a little research and you just go, damn, there's like this entire fucking Klingon language of freaking.
I need to know. I'm excited about this one because I need to know. Like, they have been the classic ones, but I don't know what the kids are down with right now, and that's because I don't play online.
Bodied is definitely one that I hear
people
way
getting
more
bodied
often
now. Yeah.
Oh, he got bodied.
First time I heard dark, he used it actually, and I was like, "Excuse me, what?" No,
I'm sorry, sir.
In context, I understood. Inside of my head, I was like, "Excuse me, what?" And like,
yeah, it's I don't know. It's an interesting one. So we're gonna go over just the top ones that I think everybody knows, and maybe, just maybe, we'll decide here today to retire a few because they just no longer apply, or create a few more just because, frankly, in some sort of a reiteration or something. So that's what we have in store for the hot topic, guys. But of course, let's go ahead and start with what we have been up to. Mr. David Santos.
That's me.
What, sir, have you been doing?
That's a good question. What have I been doing? All right.
Well, I know you finished Dark Souls, so it's like,
oh yeah. No, you know what? I didn't remember if I discussed that last week. But last week, I think I was saying I was at the end, right? Or I was going into the DLC.
Or going to DLC at the last time, yeah.
Okay, all right. So a little bit about the DLC, and I promise I'll shut up about Dark Souls 1 forever. Notice I said 1. I didn't say 2 or 3 or more. No, so the DLC, I wasn't really expecting much of it because, to be quite honest, the way that the Dark Souls game is feels so abstract in the things that you're doing and the places that you're going that I thought that I might had already done the DLC without noticing. And that's not true. Like I talked about on the last week's podcast, turns out that the way to find the DLC is incredibly convoluted. Well, maybe not incredibly so, but it's kind of ridiculous. You
For sure.
have to stumble upon almost. It's almost impossible to find without a guide. So I went in. I was already in that area. Turns out it was actually a very fun experience. I mean, it was more Dark Souls, but it didn't feel like, oh, this is a reuse of assets, for the world. Like it felt like its own distinct area, with interesting bosses, interesting boss fights, everything fitting very well within the lore of Dark Souls. I believe it's 4 bosses, and I want to say that maybe 2 of them are optional, or maybe one of them is optional. Fucking dragon is optional. My God, I wanted to kill the son of a bitch. And there was there because those are the ones that are more abstract to find out, even more weird. Like you have to talk to the person and realize that you need to talk to them again so that it actually triggers the start of the mission. First of all, you got to find a key to open up the door that will lead you to this person. So if you don't find the key, you're missing out completely on this part. And the problem is you are encountering this dragon, so you're thinking, oh shit, I should be able to kill him here. And who knows, probably some crazy person had managed to do that, but I couldn't, and I remember you were listening to me when I was going through that area and getting destroyed by the freaking dragon all the time, and I was like, no, because I gotta find the pattern. I gotta find the pattern. The pattern is that there was no pattern. It was just impossible. It was not meant. I'm not meant to survive that. Which I hate when games do that because you don't know if you're doing it wrong or if suddenly you're gonna be like, aha, you just kind of have.
I think you can. I think an understanding of the game's like nature. It's like if you're being one-shotted or close to one-shotted, or or whatever the case may be, it's like, okay, so clearly I can't just stand here and fight it. You know what I mean? So,
but it's Dark Souls. You don't know.
True. But
maybe you have to move to the right a little bit.
I think you can. I think we both agree, as challenging and sometimes extremely obtuse as this game can be, it's never unfair. You know what I mean? It's never going to be like you are so under leveled you're not ready. It's like, no, that's not how that works. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why, and I say that because I ran into a similar situation in Dark Souls 3, for the record. I won't say where or what it was, but it was very similar where I was like, and I did it. I tried a dragon 3 times. And I was like, and I came at it from three different ways. I was like, okay, the next time I come, I'm gonna do this. Did it? Nope. Killed. Okay, so maybe I should go over here. Did that? Nope. Then I just stood there and blocked. And I was like, wait, let me see what kind of damage we're looking at here. And I was just like, oh, yeah. I don't think I'm supposed to fight this thing, or at least not like this. And so then that's when I figured out, oh, okay, I just need to run, or I need to. And I won't say what it is, but so I think from that perspective, it's easy to figure out. Okay, so this is ridiculous if this is what it wants me to do, so it probably needs me to do something else. You know what I mean? So
it's Dark Souls. If it looks like a dragon and flies like a dragon, it's probably not meant to be fought until sometime later on when you're at level,
And the funny thing about it is that there are usually multiple dragons, right? So it's like some you can kill, others you can't. And then some others you can kill, but only by doing certain things, So it's like, okay, so yeah. But I mean, I think all of the, well, I'll let you talk. I'm sorry. I'll just say I think all of the those type of things are are not as hard to figure out. If you just kind of think for yourself, well, I guess this is probably not what it wants me to do.
Honestly, yeah, you're right on that. If it's for those who find the game like ridiculously difficult, I mean, it's more challenging than your typical game that is out there, but it is doable. It's completely doable, and no, you don't have to be Mr. Hardcore Gamer to be able to beat this game. I mean, I fucking beat it, and
But you feel much more
less-
hardcore now, don't you, sir?
I feel like
Let's be real.
I am not gonna. Nope. I refuse to call anybody
But you
and tell them
feel
to get
much
good.
more hardcore,
And,
don't you, sir?
okay, fine. I do. I do feel pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Welcome to our world, sir. That's all I have to say. By all means, continue.
Fuck that. That doesn't mean I'm gonna start playing other Dark Souls games. That's exactly actually what I ended up doing. Before I continue, I should say that I was very pleased with the DLC for Dark Souls. It was also not so long that it overstayed its welcome. I feel like it was the proper size. It gave me the proper challenge, and it was fun. It was something fun to do right before going into the final battle. That it's like the ideal time to tackle that. And I went consequently, I went more prepared for that final battle, which ended up being kind of underwhelming, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
It was, I mean, not to say like the final boss of Dark Souls is not, and I won't spoil any specifics on it, but I will say it's not that difficult to figure out. Could it be? I wouldn't call it necessarily challenging, but I would call it annoying, because you either know, or if you don't know, it could get a little annoying. I will say, if you don't know that you need to do what you need to do, which I think we actually have fucking talked about it. So I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why you're keeping it a secret, but even still, you don't need to, for the record, to do.
No, you don't need to.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to do it
God,
that way,
it
which
really
is to fucking what do you call it? Parry?
Parry the shit out of it.
Because you're not, because all the other bosses, you're not used to like parrying this gigantic things that come in, these gigantic monsters that you have to attack on this one. It felt more like you were battling like a mini boss almost, and suddenly the game was done. And because that was another thing. No fanfare, no craziness. I mean, even the area to get to the boss was kind of like it was actually like a perfect farming spot if you were interested in jumping into the New Game Plus, because like you can farm the most difficult to farm items as far as materials like the titanite shards and the different materials that you will need to make your weapons stronger. And the enemies that you fight, they're incredibly simple at this point. You know, it's the ones that the first time you encounter them in the game, it's like, holy shit, this might have been a boss, because this was crazy. You know, I died like 9 times to this dude, and by the end of the game, I mean, not only you're so powerful, but also you have gotten used to their attack patterns, that it's like you're parrying and killing them one shot and you're continuing. So it was kind of there was not a lot of fanfare for the end, but that's fine. You know, it's not the type of game that will present you with, this is not my final form, haha. It's nothing like that. Bye, baby, love you. So I was satisfied. At the end of it, it's like, look, I did, I this is not the type of game where it's the final boss that's meant to be like the challenge. It's like, no, the whole fucking journey to him is the challenge. And that's not to say that he is just a piece of cake, but if you get to him, you're probably gonna be let's say you don't have to worry too much.
A little underwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost I see the way I accepted it was like, well, this is kind of like my reward for all the shit that I had to go through in the game. It's like, well, just finish it, just face this battle and get it done with, and there you go. Of course, I didn't know that you could actually have a multiple, or at least two endings. You could actually make a choice on how your game will end. So I just defaulted to what's already been programmed to do right after I beat a boss and a fucking bonfire appears, which is like, turn that shit on. And I went ahead and turned that shit on, and that's when the final short cinematic and credits rolls, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done.
It is definitely I don't mind it being that, again, obtuse of with story and stuff like that, but I feel like the intro cinematic, was bigger and more powerful than that end cinematic.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I was
yes,
like,
it sets things up and
say something a little bit more than just watching the burn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
exactly. So it's still like at the end of it, because there was so many questions still about the lore and everything, that it's not like I am carrying unanswered questions, because let's face it, I don't even know what question to ask. I was like, okay, I beat Dark Souls. Awesome. On to the next one.
Nice.
and that's actually what I ended up doing. Like, the game presented me with New Game Plus, and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do New Game Plus, there's one thing that I need to do, and then I'll stop. And that is to get to the first boss of the first encounter on the asylum. On that asylum, and that boss that you're not meant to kill the first time that you face them, on New Game Plus, let's go ahead and freaking face them. And oh my god, it was like three hits and he was out. It's like done. It's like, okay, there you go.
And let me tell you, you're gonna feel that way going through it most of the time, because I was just like steamrolling past it, because I mean, it's just you're
how
already.
far did you get on the New Game Plus?
Up to Sans Fortress, and again, I told you, I was like, once
holy
I saw
crap,
Sans Fortress,
like, you play.
Fuck Sans Fortress. I don't want to deal with
I don't want to do this shit again. Yeah, that's the part. That's the playing Red Dead Redemption and getting to Mexico part. It's like, no, I'm not. I think I'm done with the game. Wow. So you were dedicated to beating that game again, because if you got to Sans Fortress, that's got to be like probably like halfway, maybe. Would you say it's halfway, or would you say it's probably like one? I would say 1 quarter.
Well, because it's only 2 bells at that point. If you really think about it, I did the first bell, I did Blighttown, and run the second bell. Framp was Framp. That's when you first talked to Framp.
Blighttown felt like half of way, like I was going halfway the first time I played that game.
Yeah. And it's not. And
it's totally not.
At that point, that's when if I'm not mistaken, that's when Sans Fortress opens for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And because now you have to go up to Anor Londo, and so that's the path to Anor Londo.
Yeah.
And it was I literally rolled my eyes when I was like, fucking Sans Fortress. I don't know if I can deal with this shit right now.
That's what you thought.
That was like, you know what?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And honestly, and I've mentioned this before, but if it wasn't for the fact that I was playing co-op with these guys, I wouldn't have done this. I tried doing the same thing with Dark Souls 3, and I just stopped. I was like, I'm done.
I'm done. I want to go back to Dark Souls 3, but before I played Dark Souls, before I go back to Dark Souls 3, I knew that I wanted to experience Dark Souls 2, because I played it once for like a couple of hours. May I probably put like, I don't remember, like 4 hours, let's say, tops. And I remember much. It didn't feel right playing it without beating the first one, so that's why I stopped. Well, now that I beat the first one, the remaster, I go to Dark Souls 2, and yeah, bro, I can see now why this would have been skipped by a lot of people, probably. And not to say it's a bad game, because it's not, but it definitely feels. I can't even say that it feels different, but it does. I mean, you're still playing Dark Souls. You're still playing, there's still difficult enemies, but it almost feels like, I think I described it to you as if Dark Souls felt like the cinematic, like the movie that you see. Dark Souls 2 feels almost like either the straight to video sequel or maybe the TV series, where everything has it appears to have a low budget, and not that you can say that with games, but what I'm trying to say is like the whole world. You know how the world in the original Dark Souls felt very. It was almost like oppressive in a way, but not in a way that will make you want to stop playing. I mean, like more into like this area. This is an interesting location, It has the selections of colors. I think they did a very good job with it, with the graphics. On the second one, what I've played so far, which admittedly hasn't been much because I was just checking it out. I didn't mean to keep playing, but I was also enjoying it. But I also stopped because it wasn't. I didn't feel right to keep playing it without you playing it also.
Dude,
so we can compare.
Because I can tell you right now, it's gonna be a while, bro.
It's gonna be a while. I know. But I was saying it was.
I'm just surprised you jumped into it so quickly.
Quickly,
like,
yeah.
Even after Dark Souls 1, I was like, I need it. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but I was like, I need to have a game that I don't curse to. Because even my wife at some point was like, I think I mentioned this last time, but I cursed. Actually, my wife works out in the living room, and I'm there with my headset just playing, and I let out an awesome fuck.
What?
Right? You know what I'm saying? And you can see her duck and kind of cover her thing, and I'm like, my bad.
I'm so sorry.
You know what I mean? I was like, but it was like, again, it gets, those type of games get into you,
yes.
and it's cool because you're engaged in everything, but at the same time, I just want something to just chill. So like I need to have a break from it.
To chill after that. I see. I think what what impulsed me to play was that I wanted to see why was it that that a lot of people were saying like, oh, this is the lesser Dark Souls, of the three, because the three was kind of like a return to form, and let's face it, I played the part that I played, the enough that I played, I was like, oh yeah, this feels like one, and one feels like three. At least the remaster did. The two, it feels a little bit more, just a tinge bit more JRPG in some sense, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that it is. It's not Final Encounters or anything like that. At the end of the day, it's still Dark Souls. Don't get me wrong, but like the colors, the story, the way things are, your movements felt kind of loose. Also, like you have, I feel like you have a little bit less control of your character. Like your character is a little bit more like faster moving and not in a good way, not fluid in a good way. If anything, it's a little bit too loose. Like I literally had to tone my sensitivity down on the game
Okay.
because I was like, I am
Playing on
turning
PC
way
again, right?
too fast. I'm playing on PC, but I'm playing with a gamepad.
Yeah. Just making sure.
So uh so that and also because it wasn't remastered, like it doesn't have the 21:9 and all the beautifulness that Dark Souls Remaster has. So it was
Wow.
the way that it was when it was released in 2015, which is not to say it was bad or anything like that. That's why it's a completely acceptable way to play it. It was just that I wanted to check the difference, and I played enough of it to where I was like, okay, I think I know the difference. I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it, or I'll start it over on PlayStation. I don't know, but I like that's the only reason I could say that I just immediately jumped on it. But I fucking enjoyed Dark Souls so much that I am putting in there. I'm putting it up there with one of those games that I could not put down. That it is on the pantheon of greatness. Right there with StarCraft and Final Fantasy VII Remake and those games that I keep mentioning, that I keep bringing up, that I've just enjoyed so much that I will not put down Portal 2, Bayonetta probably. But yeah, I stopped playing it and I jumped into a game that was released very recently. And that game is Axiom Verge 2.
Oh, nice. I hear that it has interesting music.
The music in Axiom Verge 2 is phenomenal. It's very, I mean, it's expected. Axiom Verge 1 had an excellent soundtrack, and all of this done by one person. It just blows my mind because of the quality of game that the Axiom Verge was. Axiom Verge 2, I could tell you it's also a quality title. I'm a little bit underwhelmed with it, to be quite honest with you. And it's not because it's a bad game or anything like that, or I feel like, it's, oh, you can pass this one. No, you should play it, actually. It is still if you like, especially if you like Axiom Verge, this one, there's no reason not to like it. It's just, by the end of the day, you're going to be like, this was fine. I still like the first one better.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be the consensus with at least a couple of people that I've spoken to that have actually already beat the game. It's like, yeah, I enjoy my time, but it's not better than the first one. And it doesn't feel better than the first one, to be honest with you. I would say, if anything, on this one, like, you could tell that the pressure was there for Tom Haps, I think is his name. Thomas Haps?
Tom Haps.
Thomas Haps. To complete this game and release it. The release was quite a surprise, because I honestly wasn't expecting it this year even. And suddenly I wake up to the news that, Axiom Verge 2 is out. It's like, what? So day one, same day I bought it. Now that I've been playing a good chunk of it, I will say I probably have, how many hours do I have in Axiom Verge? Oh shit, it's on the Epic store, which doesn't keep track of hours, so never mind that. I let's say I probably put close to 8 hours on it, and I have discovered a nice chunk of the map. The game, it's cool in the sense that it has a lot of it has a lot of like Indian elements, and I mean like Indian, not indie. No, yeah. not indie game.
From India, yeah.
As in from India, yeah. Like, you hear it in the music, you see it in the main character, you see it on the story and the way it presents you the lore, which is also something that I'm not a huge fan on, the way that it kind of throw, like when game does the thing where, let's say it shows you a log, right? And then the log reads like nonsense because you don't have the context of what it's referring to. So it might be referring to places, things, people, persons, but because you don't have the context of what it is, it's just they're just words. Returnal did the same thing, where to cement the fact that you were in an alien planet, as if you weren't already, and as if it wasn't clear enough already that you are on an alien planet, it tries to throw this nonsensical, like jargony thing that you're like, well, okay, you made me read this, but I got nothing from it, and I get it. It's probably meant to flavor the ambience a little bit, and it's just probably not working with me, because to me, I'm just finding it like nonsense that is not really advancing what's happening. Like, I'm finding stuff on this game that I won't spoil, obviously. I'm finding stuff on this game where it's like, oh, so you mean to tell me that this is like this? And I'm in the middle of the game, and now is that I find this out? I'm like, It was details that I should have known from that I feel like it might have actually paid a little bit better impact if I would have known this from the beginning, or I don't know. It's kind of odd in its delivery, but it does have, like, you do still want to see it through, and the map itself, it's less how the first one was very, like, you could definitely feel like, okay, this is trying to emulate a Super Metroid, right? And do its own thing with it, and it's kind of, and it was rad that way. It's like, oh man, it's like playing Super Metroid, but like if it could explode it and suddenly you have to like go explore. It's really cool. So this one is, I would say, it's a Metroidvania game, but it's not really trying to be more Metroid or more Vania. It's just being its own thing, which might be good.
I was going to say that actually, that sounds like a better choice. But go ahead.
Yeah. Except it won't be for you if you expected to play more Axiom Verge, because Axiom Verge was very distinct. It was, man, this gives me vibes of Metroid, of Super Metroid. Whereas this one, it just feels like, well, this is its own thing, and that's fine, I guess. But consequently, because of it, I am finding the fighting a little more clunky and a little less enjoyable, because it's mostly melee. Very little shooting on it. Unless I happen to stumble at some point maybe in the end game with a gun or something. For the most part, it's just melee, and it doesn't feel fair in some cases. It feels like sometimes you're just gonna get hit. I haven't died, so it's not like the game is too hard either. So take that for what you will. I haven't died in the game, or actually, I take it back. The time when I died was because I realized that the consequence for you dying is not, like, it's nothing. Honestly, it's nothing. It's, you died, and the game takes you back to the last save point, but you don't lose anything. You're not, there's no game over screen or anything like that, which I believe Axiom Verge also did, but I could be wrong. I'm not remembering. I kind of remember being transported back to that egg thing where I will always wake up from, which was very neat. On this one, there's just this like trophy looking thing that I'm constantly waking up from, and it just, death feels inconsequential in the sense that the most that you could do is like, well, if I was fighting a boss, I'd probably have to go back and start the fight again. But I'm not losing anything, or maybe I just got used to Dark Souls punishing way of punishing you
I
for
was,
dying so much that
I
now I'm
was
finding this
literally
one
gonna say
completely
that.
consequential. Yeah,
I
it's
was gonna
probably
say it's
that.
like, oh, you're just suffering from the Dark Souls. That's
It's
it.
you know what? It's funny because what was it? There was something that I was feeling that I'm like, oh, don't be ridiculous, David. This is not Dark Souls. And I can't remember now what it had to do with. It's probably in the way that I will approach some new areas. I don't know. I was disappointed because killing enemies, like I wasn't progressing. I didn't really feel like I was progressing in any way. Like killing enemies it was just like, well, you're in my way, and I can shoot you or I can just jump over you and not care. Like, as at the end, I don't win anything for killing you unless I'm short, unless I'm needing health, or the nanites that allow me to do some things. Okay, let me jump in a little bit more of the gameplay itself. So I already explained that the fighting is melee based, and you're in this human form. I mean, you're human. You're the female human, and you go around, but you can also open up eventually. There's portals to other areas where that's where the game's already pixelated because it's the style. But once you open these areas, it does the glitchiness, the glitchiness that it tries to do, when one of those games will glitch.
Yeah.
And it'll throw you into
The
this
first one
world, like the first one. Yeah, exactly. And it will throw you into this world where now you're this like walking drone thingy that you control, and it plays a little bit different while it's on that form. So it's cool. Like at first I was like, oh man, I just want to go back to my human form. But then as I unlocked more things with with the little drone thing, I was like, okay, so this is not bad actually. This is actually quite fun. There's some traversing here that it's enjoyable. And overall, I will say the whole experience have been enjoyable so far. Just temper your expectations. I don't think that as a sequel to Axiom Verge, I don't feel like it makes the cut yet. But it is definitely worth picking up and playing it. So, and the last thing that I had to play because it was another thing that was announced that come out of left field, and I was super excited. Is Quake? Yeah. Which Quake? The original Quake. Yes. Oh man, let me tell you about Quake. I can't even tell you about Quake. There's not much to say about Quake, but oh my god, Quake. No, the original Quake, the game that came out in early 1990 something, let's just say, okay. Or late 1990 something. I don't even remember. Yeah. It was a sequel to Doom, and the idea was that let's make an actual 3D game in 3D space, and it's the progenitor of it's one of the very first one of those first person shooters like that. The first game that suddenly gave me control of where I am looking, which kind of threw me off because I was so used to Doom's way of, I just have to point the camera in the direction where the enemy is, and it doesn't matter if the enemy is above or below me. The hit scan should be able to hit the enemy, hit him where he's at, without worrying about looking up or looking down. And I didn't have to worry about that. Quake suddenly gave me the option to do that, and I was like lost. And Quake was one of the very first games that I've actually played with a 3D accelerator. So it gave me it brought me back, the nostalgia brought me back to the days of the 3D effects Voodoo video card. That's what that was called. 3D Voodoo, and then the Voodoo 2, and
Okay.
and they were meant to be, instead of video cards like the way we have them now, which is you have your video card on your computer that handles everything. It handles your normal Windows, but it also, or I should say GPUs. Actually, I should make a difference, because you could have a video card, and you could have a GPU. It's just that people use the term back and forth. But a GPU will work your graphics, basically your 3D graphics. It'll process the math that is needed to show you the graphics on the screen. Not nothing new. This is something that consoles now have. They have a GPU, and they handle the graphics. So, but back in the day, that shit was different. It was separated. So you had your regular video card, because obviously you needed to show something on the screen, and then you had your 3D accelerator, and that's what it was called. And that was an extra card that you will plug in your card and on your computer, and suddenly your computer will feel like it was $2,000 more, just because of the amount, the incredibleness of graphics that it was doing, like playing the original Tomb Raider for the first time. And granted, I'm talking about graphics that look like exactly like what the PlayStation 1 could do. But back in the day, that was mind blowing, just like the PlayStation 1 was mind blowing. So it was such a good feeling of it brought me back to that. Of course, this is actually a remaster that Bethesda decided to make for QuakeCon and 10th. No, sorry, not the 10th. The 25
Bethesda?
year anniversary. Bethesda, because it's id software.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I forget. I still have them disconnected in my head. But you're right, go ahead.
Yeah. No, don't worry. It happened. The first time I loaded it, and it just put it into the normal Bethesda logo,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like, like it threw me off. I was like, "Wait a minute, why is he showing me that?" Oh, wait a minute, that's right. It's the same but not also not the same but whatever. You still have to log into Bethesda net to play this game. It's like, oh, come on. But that's okay. It's automated now. It didn't ask me. It didn't prompt me. It didn't prompt me to play it, to put in my username or password or anything like that. It was just like, okay, you're in. If you get it from Xbox, or in my case, I got it from Game Pass. I remember that. Oh, wait a minute, Microsoft owns Bethesda. I bet this shit is on Game Pass, and sure enough, there it was. I was able to download it and play it. But turns out I didn't have to. If I owned the Steam version of the original Quake, they actually gave me an upgrade for free. Like if you own it on, you own Quake on Steam,
basically cross buy is what it can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you bought, and it's not expensive. It's literally $10, or $9.99. Because I said literally. So if you want to pick it up now, it's definitely a very good time. This game actually it's coming out on other consoles. That's my understanding. But it's not like when I say remaster. Take it with a grain of salt. What I really mean is like if you have it has widescreen support now.
That's about it.
The graphics has been a touch here and there, but not much, because you don't want to unquake Quake,
Yeah.
So it looks, obviously, it looks cleaner. The lighting has been improved a little bit, but again, just little touches to make it look like an old game running on new hardware, or the way that you always thought this game looked in your head, like the way that you remember it, not the game, not the way that that it really is if you load the original Quake game now, especially if you happen to load the on the version that is not graphic accelerated. Was an amazing accomplishment considering it all. The first time you load Quake without, when you loaded Quake without any 3D accelerators or anything like that, it was like, oh shit, this is crazy. This is awesome. It's a bunch of pixels on the screen that are annoying as hell, but this is cool. Okay, that's fine. Doom looked better probably, but no, that's fine. I like it. But then you put, and this is when I discovered this is what made me into the freak I am right now when it comes to graphics cards and stuff like that, into the graphics whore that I became. You play Quake normal, and it's Quake, but you put that shit into an accelerator back in the day. I'm talking about back in the day. You did the transition to back in the day to going from probably like 15 frames per second, if that, to I'm gonna say like 30 frames per second, which back then it was like, holy shit, this is like the smoothest thing that I've ever seen it. The graphics looks and suddenly all the textures look so clean and so sharp. Because they don't have that aliasing happening where it makes things look like staircases. Dude, it was something else. It was, I became a believer. From that moment forward, it's just being like the most important part of the PC.
And I can see.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. It was from this moment forward, a computer is not a computer if it doesn't have a GPU of sorts. If it doesn't have a GPU of sorts, it's just a school computer. It's if I want a PC, it must have a GPU of some sort, and it went from there. Voodoo 2, then GTS, and then GTS 220, and then from there it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing, and now we're like in what, RTXs and shit like that. It's like, wow. But good times. I'm so happy to see that game out. Ridiculous. It's a ridiculous game. This is a game that you don't play for story. You don't play for anything other than, holy shit, that's the soundtrack. That soundtrack was made by Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor. And it sounds amazing, and everything moves at like breakneck speed. Like the whole game you are playing, you're just moving so fast. It's ridiculous, but it is also so enjoyable and so throwback. Like a lot of games that have come out lately, trying to be, like Quake, they try to emulate that. But you'll always have this one. And mark my words.
Oh, Quake.
Nothing I can. Very well said. Yes, sir. Yes. Nothing can outquake Quake. Mark my words. I intend to go through the entire game because nice, I am enjoying the living crap out of it. It's the definition of mindless shooting fun.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Like I said, sometimes you just need that buffer in between Dark Souls.
Yes. So, sometimes you need it. Yeah. And, I'll go back to I will continue playing Action Verge as my main right now, but when I feel tired, I also feel like in that game it gets to a point where it's like I had enough, and then I'll stop playing for like half an hour, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll jump back in again, because great game actually to play with an 8-bit dough, and 8-bit dough has not been it's not a sponsor. I just fucking love this controller so much. My favorite controller of the ones that I own is this little thing. It's too bad I can't play every. You can't play every. I mean, you could, but it's not ideal because like the shoulder and the triggers are digital. They don't have nuance, so it's all or nothing on them. So it's not ideal for a lot of games. But for retro games, like Axiom Verge and or actual retro games, if you're doing emulators stuff like that, this thing is godsend. It's only $50.
So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't watched anything, sir, so I'm gonna cut it here.
So, all right. So, real quick, the last time I was towards the end of, I had mentioned I felt like I had the fake ending of Ender Lilies, and so I was able.
Wait, but
Actually,
you saw credits though.
Well, no. The first time I didn't see credits, and then the second time I did see credits. Actually, we were on the chat at the same time.
Yeah.
And
but you were not happy still.
No, I still enjoyed it. I definitely, my final score is easily a 3.5. Definitely a good, really good game.
Okay.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's beautiful looking game, and I found out afterwards that there is the ultimate boss. You know what I mean? And it's the same boss, but it's just like now you're facing it for real, you know. And of course, you have to go around collecting a bunch of stuff from the world, and it's just like, see, no. Credits rolled. I'm fine with the ending I have. And you were there. I literally uninstalled it. I was like, thank you for a good time.
It was optional. If you're gonna make me like collect shit to go, what you're saying is, oh, this boss is optional.
Yep, exactly. And not only is saying that because you also roll credits, so it is optional. Yeah. But anyway, definitely doesn't take away from the game. Definitely still highly recommend it. So I was sort of in between games as you will, and I was like, all right, I don't know what to play. Let me look at my backlog. Let's look at what I have here available. And the first one I threw on was a little title called Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh, snap. Yes, I did see. I did took a peek at what you were playing, and I saw that, and I was very happy. Finally, I get to hear your thoughts on Star Wars Squadron, because let's be real, you probably beat it by now.
Well, first off, I didn't know it was that short.
So
but obviously, no. I didn't. But I'll tell you what. So first of all, I recognize it as being an excellent, I guess, space
simulator.
Simulator. Yeah. A space flight simulator, essentially, and it's an excellent one of those. But I realized pretty quickly, I probably only put in about an hour and a half, and is when I realized I don't like flight sims.
I fucking knew it.
I was like, and it's not the game. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not the game.
How a person that does not like racing will suddenly be like all upon on this one, even if it's Star Wars, and let's say suddenly you're rekindling your love for Star Wars. It's like, I have no hopes that you are gonna like stick to it. I just want to try it.
I did, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I just know that there was one. I was at a mission, and I had to shoot down a bunch of like a squad of X-Wings came in, probably 7 of them. It took me fucking 20 minutes to shoot these fuckers because I was like, oh my God, I can't tell depth. Oh my God, why is this? I'm constantly rolling to the left.
Are you not down. You're not reading your radars, or is it?
I am reading the radar. It's just to me, it's funny because I'm glad I never got what's that?
Ace Combat?
Ace Combat, thank you. I'm glad I didn't get that, because the reality is I've known this for a while. I just forget, because you don't play the fucking genre for a long time, and then when Ace Combat came in, I was like, oh, that looks cool. That looks really realistic. I love Top Gun. Why wouldn't I want to do this? No, right? You played it and whatever, and I remember you liked it, but you had some issues.
I love it. I still like the series.
You did have. I remember you mentioned some issues with it, but overall, you did enjoy it. And so I kept it tagged as, all right, I'll catch it in a sale. Never did. And then here comes Squadrons, right? I'm like, all right, but this was free, right? It came with PlayStation, so technically not free, but it came with PlayStation Plus. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to just, boom. Again, I don't put the two together as a flight simulator. I just think this is a Star Wars game. I'm playing, whatever. And I just realized immediately, I'm just like, this is not... it just came to, it almost like the light bulb just turned. I was like, oh, that's right. I don't like these. God. So I'm glad I didn't spend any money on it. for sure. And I'm also glad I never pulled the trigger on Ace Combat because I would have ran into the same thing. I was like, oh, this
No,
is a waste of
you
fucking
would
money
have.
right here.
Yeah.
And yeah. And again, not that these are bad. I haven't never played Ace Combat, but Squadrons is not bad. I was enjoying what was going on and everything, and it looked and felt like you would
Like you're fucking
expect.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
You're
it's
a
like, oh
freaking,
shit. All the
yeah,
shit
yeah.
is like, this
It's
is what I saw in the
excellent, yeah.
movie, but I'm in the action. I'm in control in the cockpit because you're
Yeah,
literally in the
yeah.
cockpit of them. Did you
Absolutely
play? Did you so did you? Game starts you on the Empire side, right?
Yes.
Was that the only thing you played? Because that
No,
would
I went
that
to
would
the X-Wing
disappoint.
side of it.
Okay, I was gonna say because that would disappoint because that means that you only played one mission in
No,
the
no.
tutorial, and they were like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
No, but I made it to that second one with the first mission of now the X-Wing of the Rebel side, and
Mhm.
somewhere in the middle there, it was just like it's frustrating me because, and this is just the way flight games are, right? Because it's just,
Mhm.
you got to chase them down, you got to be able to line up the shot.
Dog
It's just the
fighting.
way- yeah, exactly.
Fighting. Even though
And
this game shows you that there's like a line that tells you constantly, like, okay, if you're pointing at this, first of all, you need to know. You need to have someone on your side and either commit to pursuing that, or if you notice that he's like dodging too hard and you got somebody attacking, it's like, okay, well, let me switch. Let me switch whoever is attacking me because that becomes the primary target because otherwise I'm going to be his primary target. And it's almost like a game of cat and mouse, which I can definitely see how it will not be enjoyable to everyone.
so yeah, and in essence, that's what it was. So I stopped. I was a little disappointed. At the same time, I was like, I should have known better. In my head, I was just like, I should have known better. I should have known that this is, and it's the thing I said, you don't. There's not like a shitload of flight sims out there. You know what I mean? So
No, there's not a lot of this one. So we needed your support. We needed you to say that you played it all the way through and that you beat the campaign, and then now you're talking to the masses like, hey, you should try this out. But no, it didn't grab you. And
Nope.
What can I say? It's not meant to grab everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, not even free. Let me ask you: did it feel like? Did it feel like if you would have kept on it and you would have how can I rephrase how can I phrase this, because does it feel like it would have been if you would have kept at it, you would have felt better about the dogfighting, or is it like, oh, I just don't enjoy this mechanic at all? Because
it's definitely the mechanic.
Gotcha.
That is to me a frustrating mechanic, and I get that is literally,
I mean, that's dogfighting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
dogfighting is.
Which is why, like I said, it's just like I couldn't even tell you the last thing that I played that was like that. It was older. This
Top
had to
Gun
be like
on the
PlayStation
NES.
2 or something. Yeah, no. Was Top Gun? Well, anyway, it was pretty old, and it's the style of game that it is. And I realized, okay, this is clearly not for me. I'm glad I tried it. It clearly not for me. And it's been so long. And then this again was free. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, and it's Star Wars, which, I'm a little bit of a love-hate relationship with right now.
It's complicated.
Yes, it's very complicated. So I was like, let me get a shot. And then immediately, really, really early on, I was like, oh
yeah. It turns out we're not compatible at all.
This is, yep. This is not you, it's me. Yep.
It is not you, it's me.
Yeah, exactly what it is. So,
yeah. That's too bad, but I really appreciate the fact that you give it a go, and because I was just curious. Honestly, I had no qualms about, I had no hopes that you were gonna be like, yes, this game is awesome or anything like that. It was more like, he doesn't play this type of games.
Yep.
I wonder if you'll find this like interesting or something. And I mean, because you can see for what it ended up, being, the game was actually very well made. It has.
It is. Oh, it is
it's very simple. It's very simple, but it's very well crafted, and it has.
It is crafted with love. You can definitely tell that
with love. Exactly.
People who did this clearly, one, enjoy flight sims, two, enjoy Star Wars, really wanted to do something special with the smaller title that they were doing. Clearly, this came out at $40 if I remember correctly, so it wasn't even a full price title. And that doesn't mean that shouldn't take anything away from it, but you can clearly feel like, okay, so this was more of a side project, but it was a side project.
This is EA. This easily could have been a full time. You know what you think about it? After finishing the game, I was like, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put a full time. Not because I say, I mean, I enjoyed it quite a bit, and sure, if I would have bought it at $60, I still would have felt the very same way. Yeah. It's not. I don't think it's like the best game ever made or anything like that. I'm not saying that. It's certainly not TIE Fighter, the game, but I enjoyed it, and it was silly because the game, regardless of which side you were on, the game will make sure that you feel that, or it will try its best to make you feel like, oh well, if you were on the Empire, then you guys won. Or oh well, if you were on the Rebel, then you won. Like, it had the most ambiguous ending ever. It was so ridiculous. It was so infuriating because it was like, no. Let me pick my side. Let me pick the side that won. Don't tell me we're all winners, because at the end, that's what you did. You went way too PC. Not to mention the game definitely went woke as fuck. Like it was gratuitous on its way. But whatever, it was still an enjoyable thing, whether you paid $60, whether you paid $40, or whether you got it for free, or you would have hated it whether you would pay $60, whether you pay $40, or whether you got it for free.
Yeah.
So
I didn't hate it. Again, it's literally a compatibility issue. I just don't care for those type of games, and I just wasn't enjoying it, obviously, because of it. So
yeah.
So anyway, from there, I really just jumped back into.
Well, he wasn't enjoying you either. The game wasn't enjoying
clearly,
you either. So
clearly, he didn't say anything as I was uninstalling it. So yeah,
no, he decided to part on terms, good terms.
But no, I jumped back into Hitman, and because I own all three, and I only played 3 missions of the first one, so I'm like, maybe I should fucking go back to this thing. You
might have some way to go. Speaking about getting burned in the game, good luck.
Well,
Godspeed, brother.
I started a campaign over.
Oh God! You just to literally go the worst way about it you can possibly go. Huh?
Well, I wanted to see
It's like you really don't want to finish this game through. You don't want to see the ending through.
No, I really wanted to see the because I always enjoyed. Believe it or not, I always enjoyed the story behind. The gameplay is excellent. It's the best part of the game, but the story was always interesting to me. And so I was like, okay, let me refresh myself. Now, obviously, I could have just went to the very next mission, which I think is mission 4, and but I was like, let me get used to the mechanics again, right? Because I haven't played in a little bit. Let me get used to the mechanics again, and so that's really what I did. I did the Paris one, I did Sapienza, and now I'm at the third one, which I can't remember what it is. It's like somewhere in India or Middle East or somewhere.
Middle East, yeah.
And so that's where I'm at. I am enjoying it. It's still an excellent freaking game. I am purposefully saying I just want to complete the hit. I'm not trying to better my score, which I was doing the first time, which was why I did Paris like 40 times. I did Sapienza another 28. And it's like, okay, I don't need to do this. Now, it's cool because you unlock stuff in the mission the more you do it. But
yeah, exactly.
If I'm looking at it as a completionist, not completionist as doing 100%, but more of a completion just to get through the story, then it's just like I just need to do these hits, and I still want to be silent about it, but I am like, I don't care about my body count. You know what I'm saying? So, I will.
You just want to get it done.
Yeah, I will do everything I can to avoid attention, as any silent assassin would, avoid attention and whatever like that. But if someone's in my way, and the easiest way is to take them out, they're going out. You know what I mean? Even if they're not the target.
The easy way out.
And honestly, it's a lot more fun sometimes that way, because it's like, this is kind of what an assassin would do. I was like, this is, I'm not gonna. It's like it's a mission. It needs to be done. I'm not gonna stand here and find the most non-lethal way of doing something. It's like, no.
Or go back in time and fix a wrong that you just because you left a body like half uncovered somewhere.
I do enjoy
Reload.
trying the different ways to take them out. So who knows? But I mean, I'm gonna spend time speaking of this, but I really am. I'm kind of I'm feeling good about getting back into it because it's like, okay, this definitely got its hooks back in me. But so that'll probably be, I mean, at least the first one. At least I can complete the first one. And if it's if it's, I mean, I don't know how long it is if I were to just beeline it. Not that I'm beelining it, but you know what I mean. If it probably wouldn't actually be that long to make it easy to go to part 2, but we'll see.
Yeah, probably. I would say if you were just playing just to open up the next level and you go into the next level and then you go to the next level, then yeah, it's definitely more. It's
because there's anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes per mission.
Right.
There's only 4, so I mean, there's only 6. Excuse me, there's only 6.
The thing is, those games were designed for you with replayability in mind, and because you unlock the things that are things that could be very useful for your future missions, it's almost like, well, shit, I completed this way, but I kind of want to go, But to be fair, it's really cool that you have the option. It's really cool that the game doesn't force you to, you must do it all these ways first before you jump into the next part, or you need to meet this certain goal. No, you just have to hey, you pass this stage, okay, you can move to the next one if you want.
By design, if you remember correctly, because they were released episodic.
So,
because they were released episodic, it's like we need to make this replayable AF, and that's exactly what they did. I mean. They made it to the point where you want to jump back in and try 15 different ways and see what happens. But yeah, I'm kind of floating as to how I'm going to do it, especially when it comes to the new levels. It's like, ooh, a new sandbox. You know what I mean? It's like, what can I do?
I haven't practiced here.
So we'll see how that happens. But anyway, that's really all I've been playing. I did watch a few things. I just kind of quickly go through here. First off, I watched the second episode of What If, and it is called What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord.
Shit. Wow. Okay. I need to start watching. I said I was gonna, and I forgot completely about it. And then by the time I remember, it's like, okay, I'm busy now. But yeah, I need to go into this one because they sound like this series is right up my alley.
It is definitely. It's funny because I rewatched the first one, which is Captain Carter, and there was a question mark that I had that I immediately got the answer to. Like, it was one question I was like, "Ooh, that felt like a stretch. I don't know how we got from here to here." And rewatching it, I got the answer. I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." So I got to give it to them, and in this one as well, I got to give it to them. It really, the changes in many ways make a lot of sense. There are people who are villains who become greater villains in these particular what ifs because, well, another villain for some reason isn't there. You know what I mean? Or never came to power for whatever reason. So what does that do? Someone's always going to be a bad guy, someone else is going to come to power. And same thing with a lot of characters who, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically there's characters who never get to become a particular important character because the inciting event of their life never happened. You know what I mean? And because it never happened, they're just Joe Schmo.
Regular dude?
It's just a regular person. So it's like, whoa, that's crazy. And I don't know. I'm kind of really digging this series. And it's funny because the first thing you would think of is like, well, how much of a difference could it be of the fact that he's black? What else can be the difference, right? Well, think about Peter Quill. Think about when he was young. What was going on in his life at that time, and then think about T'Challa, who was raised to be the king of Wakanda. You know what I mean? So if he becomes a Ravager, he joins. I forgot his name now. He joins. What's his name? The blue face guy.
Yeah, I forgot.
I forgot his name. But anyway,
I forgot.
yeah, he joins that whole team. He's not going to be just as malleable as Peter Quill was. You know what I mean?
No.
So because of that, it's like it goes, yeah, that makes sense, right? Because I mean, he was already taught to be a leader and everything. He knew that his dad was Black Panther. He knew that, you know, he knew all these things already. So it's like, oh yeah, and the outcome of it is just so odd. But at the same time, it's like, yes, I can see why or how it would come to that. And there's a lot of, whoa, what are they doing there? You know, it's just
That's
a lot of
awesome.
that happening, and I dig it, and that's why I dig it. So anyway, that was again, T'Challa becomes a Star-Lord.
How long are this episodes? Is it?
30 minutes. It's like half an hour long.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Cool.
they're really digestible. Real quick, this is just the slightest of spoilers, but only because I want to kind of give you an example. Because this Star-Lord, T'Challa's Star-Lord, is not as unknown as Peter Quill's Star-Lord is. So it replays that original sequence when he goes to steal that little stone, and then that guy comes up and he goes, "Who are you?" And he's, "I'm Star-Lord." And the guy goes, "Who?" You know what I mean? And it replays that thing, and in this case, he goes, T'Challa goes to say that he's Star-Lord, and the same dude, who I think is voiced by the same guy because he sounds exactly the same, it goes, "You're Star-Lord. Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan." And it's just, I can't believe Star-Lord, and I have to take you down, but you understand that this is my job, and it becomes this incredible other thing where I'm just like,
that's
oh
funny.
my God, this is hilarious. And because again, you know how you look at it, it's obviously playing off of Guardians of the Galaxy, and Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
James Gunn film, meant to be humorous, so it is what it is. It has moments like that. It doesn't steer away from them. It's like, no, we're going to keep that influence, but what changes are just these major events. And anyway, that's What If, episode 2. Pretty cool. I saw, speaking of T'Challa, I actually saw 42, which is the story of Jackie Robinson, which is played by the late Chadwick Boseman. And this is another excellent film. I really love it. If you love baseball, you will love this. But it is a really, really powerful story in the sense that, if you don't know, Jackie Robinson was the first Black player let into the major leagues. And it wasn't because the world was willing to have him in. You know what I mean? It took a lot of pushing, a lot of, triumph to get over reactions that obviously that the world had. But it has these wonderful moments that just never lets you forget that there are wonderful people out there. You know what I mean? It's like, just because you have the loudest person screaming the worst profanity, that doesn't suddenly mean everyone in their camp is like that. You have other people in that camp going, no, I'm glad they're doing what they're doing, and I can't wait to see more. You know what I mean? It's just like, and you have those moments in the film and in the story. And I don't know if it's true. Obviously, it is based on a true story, but I don't know what's creative freedom and what's not. But it is definitely it's definitely worth the watch. It's on HBO Max, so if anybody has HBO, you can definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. I really dug it, and Chadwick Boseman was great in it as well. So the whole thing. Harrison Ford is in it. He's actually the owner of he's the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, who is the one who brings him over, and slight spoilers, but kind of just it's his idea, and
it's historical. So
it's his idea to do this, and of course it goes against everybody on his, like, no, you can't. Are you crazy? You can't do this. And of course he just goes on and he sells it first as, we have a Black player that brings Black people to come see him. That means more tickets. You know what I mean? It's just like, so it's like and
business.
It's like, exactly. He brings that business sense, and then there's more involved to it later on. But it's it's just good. It's a great film. I highly recommend everyone watch if you have not seen it, regardless if you like baseball or not.
I've
It's
seen the
just-
trailer. I have not seen the movie yet. Yeah, I need to put this on my list.
The last one I just saw yesterday, and
Uh-huh.
it is called The Green Knight.
Uh-huh.
Yes, a little story. That's actually
Sounds racist.
it's it's in the theaters now, but I was able to rent it with Prime on the early thing because I really really wanted to see this film. And yes, it's $20 to rent it. Whatever. I still wanted to see this movie.
Hey, whatever. You don't have to justify your spending to anyone.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. If
saying.
anybody is like, dude, how can you fucking pay this? It's like, hey, I wanted to see this freaking film.
Exactly. That's the value to you. It was cheap. It was bad cheap to you. You wanted to watch it. It was either that or $30 at the movie theater. So you saved $10. Bada bing. I don't know why I had that accent.
I don't know either. But so anyway, so this is actually a tale. Now, I don't know. I feel like King Arthur has always been a myth. Like there's no actual real King Arthur. You know what I mean? It's just a story that's been told down the ages, whatever. And then they, of course, at some point include Excalibur and all that into it. But
Yeah.
so this is a tale that's similar to it's almost like a fable. The story of King Arthur's nephew, who on a Christmas day, at a Christmas dinner, in the palace, whatever, a green knight, literally a green knight, comes to issue a challenge to the best swordsman, and he basically the challenge is, if you can best me, I will give you this axe. And all you have to do is it's something like all you have to do is nick me. It doesn't, if you can nick me in any way, I'll give you this axe and you get the power of whatever the axe is. But in 1 year and 1 day, you will come to me and I will deliver the same blow you gave. You know what I mean? And so
That's
to me, it's like
weird.
It is extremely odd. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is not a movie for you for the record. This is not a David Santos joint. Okay. This is very art. Yeah.
I can. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
The night was green, and you said the moment you said I really need to watch this movie, I'm like, oh, okay. It's one. That's a warning sign right there.
Yeah.
So I've seen them.
Yeah. So yeah. I still think it's great. It is beautifully shot. Anyway, so it's sort of a
that's another.
Yeah, it is really excellently shot. It's just one of those that it's literally the what is the line? Every frame a painting or something like that. I think it's there's so many times you can literally just hit pause and like, man, if I could just take that and put it into a frame, it would be beautiful. You know what I mean? And so many of those moments. So this is a really well shot film. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise because it's actually in the trailer.
It doesn't have an ending. No, okay, go ahead.
No, it has an ending. But basically,
ending. No,
blow,
keep going.
The blow that he lands on the guy, and you see this in the trailer, is not a spoiler. He literally lops his head off.
Oh shit!
So obviously, because
that sounds like a spoiler to me.
It's in the trailer.
Still.
But he obviously he's like, oh, he took his head off. I'm fine. And of course, everybody's like, you can almost tell that people go, dude, this was a game. And you just the Green Knight literally stands up, grabs his head, laughs, and says, "See you," or something like "See you in a year and a day," and rides off. You're like, shit. So, and then of course it leads to the majority of the film is his travel to go honor this thing that he was supposed to do.
Who's travel?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the main character, which is a nephew of King.
So
Arthur.
not the Green Knight.
No. The Green Knight is the one that issued the challenge.
The Green Knight.
Maybe I said that wrong. So the Green Knight comes to King Arthur's castle, delivers that challenge, says any one of your best knights, and for whatever reason, his nephew, who is not even a knight, decided to say, "I take your challenge." and he lops the Green Knight's head off. Green Knight stands up, even though he has no head, grabs his head and says, "See you in a year," and takes off. And then, and then basically the story begins shortly thereafter, which is a flash forward for him to now travel to that chapel that he was supposed to have the Green Knight now deliver the same blowback. You know what I mean?
So even though he knows that he's probably gonna lose his head, he decides to go.
Yeah,
is that what I'm understanding?
That is what you're understanding. Yeah,
and hence it's a nice honor, so I understand why. I just want to make sure that
yeah, and it's a lot of weird, crazy, mystical things that happen along the road to it. The reason I wanted to see the film was because I haven't seen a medieval fantasy film in such a long time. Lord of the Rings is the last one. I haven't seen anything past that. And it's like I miss those. I love those. I miss those. I know they're expensive to do, which is why most companies don't do it, because not only are they expensive, most people don't go see them. You know what I mean? So that's unless it's Lord of the Rings.
It's like you're telling me this movie's not for you, but everything you're saying is selling it to me. So
sir, proceed at your own risk is all I'm gonna say, bro. That is all I'm gonna say.
They're gonna be like, damn it, I fucking wasted $20 in this piece of shit that Mad Dog make me do, even though you didn't make me. I'm gonna say he made me watch.
I would say watch the trailer and go from there. The trailer may not help in the sense that you probably go, man, this looks really good. Because again, it looks really well shot. But I knew.
What is the part that is not mine then? What is again, I feel like I must ask. Does he have an ending or does he have an ending?
No, it has an ending. It has an ending, and there is honestly, it's honestly one of those things where there's no reason why you don't know what happened. You know, what's happening.
Okay, so far so good.
It has an ending. What happens is there's a lot of question marks that happens throughout the world as he's traveling to, there's a lot of just as most art films can be, there's a lot of just these long periods of watching a character do something, and you're really just really taking in what they're doing and whatever, but it's just that happening on the screen for a while, you know what I mean? And that can be people like, where is he going to hit something? Is he going to be attacked by something? What's happening? Why is
right?
And so it depends on how you feel about that. For me personally, I have watched so many art house films that it just doesn't bother me anymore. So 10 minutes in, I knew what I was in for. Now, did my wife enjoy it? She thought it was okay. She didn't great or anything like that. She thought it was okay. We ended up looking more into the fable of the character. And there's an actual story that's been told for the longest time of this, but again, it's almost like a fable. It's not a real story, right? And so they took that and created this. They took that and created this into the film. And I technically have it for 48 hours, and I want to watch it again because I feel it's one of those that you get little things out of a second view.
A chance I should go there and watch it with you.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but
no.
Yeah. I still think. I mean, I don't think you're gonna hate it. I just feel like it's maybe knowing this. Look at knowing what I just told you. Look at the trailer. Understand that there's gonna be some very weird, odd moments that you can definitely understand what's happening, but it's just a world that doesn't exist. This is a fantastical world.
It's a fable, basically. It was very well described.
If you know that going in, then you get why these weird things are happening, and you just let it be. You know what I mean? It's like no one freaked out when the thing picked up its head and ran off, except for the main character. But everybody else is like, they started cheering him. He's like, well, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But again, it's an odd film on purpose. You know what I mean? So, but I still dug it. I can easily, this one I can probably give again a 3.5. I think it was really good.
That's good.
Now that's for one view, and I want to see if I can watch it again before my 48 hours is up. And and give it a second whirl. But
I was just kind of like thrown off a little bit, completely out of context. The only reason I know about this movie was because like fucking Kotaku throws up one of their
oh god, yeah,
yeah exactly one of theirs. Well, one of their high what do you call that news or opinion pieces where they're like yeah like I forgot how was it that they worded it out. I forgot exactly how it was, but it was somewhere along the lines of like you don't need to you fuck, I forgot exactly what it said, and now I kind of want to look for it. Yeah, but it's something along the lines of, oh, you don't have to like look too deep into the Green Knight to see the racist connotations of it. And I'm like, racist connotation? That's the last thing I think about when I think about that title and what the picture that you're showing me. And what the hell are you talking about?
Racist connotations.
Yeah, well, again, Kotaku says hi. Yeah. Kotaku, it's one of those click me, and I'm like, at that point I was like, no, I'm not even gonna click. This sounds too stupid, But that's what they do. So it was just weird. It was just a weird thing, and maybe I read it wrong. Who knows?
So yeah, I mean, I still
the Green Knight. Now I'm looking for it.
I'm looking for it too, and I don't find it. So I have no idea. The only thing that pops up for me is Hollow Knight for Kotaku. Are you sure it was Kotaku?
Oh, Hollow Knight might be too far. If it was Polygon, I wouldn't have been able to make a difference because they're both the same to me.
I mean,
now that's racist.
Wow,
that's sightist. Kotaku and Polygon is the same side to me.
All the Green Mirror News, The Old Myth, and The Fabulous New Way. No,
no, you're not gonna be able to find it, and I'll probably see it somewhere.
Fair enough. But anyway, that's all we've been doing.
I am the Black Knight.
I just realized I don't have the news.
And we're back. Not with the news. We're actually back with the trailer of the week.
So you don't have to wait for me for enunciating the trailer of the week. You could go trailer of the week, and if I'm not ready for it, I just lost it. Just
fair enough. I mean, trying to be, I don't know, inclusive, but whatever. That's fine.
That's the problem that we're having now in this society. Yeah. We're just trying to include everything and anything and everything.
Jeez.
And okay, let's practice it. 3, 2, 1. Trailer of the week. Now I'm not including that.
I feel an edit coming soon.
No, actually, it'll be that. It'll be just your voice going, trailer of the week.
That'd be great. That would be freaking great. Guys, our trailer, well, I don't know at this point because I feel like
you
we
should
are
know.
50-50 on this, but
no. I got my selection and I'm 100% on it. Not because of the level of interest, more like by default. Yeah, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised because it's not going to be the popular choice, I know.
So, well, I guess I will name first off, as everybody knows, the Eternals trailer came out this week. Eternals trailer, final trailer.
It's not that.
That's not even in the running. Just FYI. So you can get that shit right out of your heads, guys. No, what's in the running? We saw the Star Wars Visions trailer.
Yeah, we did.
And then we saw a movie called Bestsellers, which not the movie, the trailer. Bestsellers, which stars Michael Caine and Aubrey Plaza.
Sorry, that is Sir Michael Caine. Thank you very much.
Apologies, you're absolutely right. He has been knighted Sir Michael Caine. And not Sir Aubrey Plaza. So I guess I'll throw it over to you unless you want me to start because I can go. If you like.
I know you can go. Well, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
Well, I'll take the pieces.
Okay. I am all in on this stupid ass Visions shit.
See, you're wrong. Now I have to
am
talk.
all in on this Visions thing. First off, I am the first one to say I'm in a love and hate, mostly hate nowadays relationship with Star Wars. Thank you, Rise of the Skywalker, for ruining Star Wars forever.
Yes.
Anyway, so I have no desires, and I heard that this was coming out, and I said, let me go check. Let me just see what the fuck is about, right? I seen The Mandalorian, by the way, which is already on Disney Plus, and it's good. It's not great, but it's good. It does have great moments. I will give it that. But overall, it's good. Definitely like the fact that it steers away from a lot of, or it did steer away from a lot of known property or known folklore or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, it was branching its own path. Towards the end, it didn't. It had to fucking veer its path all the way back to what we already, because
it's Star Wars, so exactly. of course it needs, everybody's related to everybody,
correct,
and everybody has like an acquaintance that they know, so it's
and in there lies why I got really taken aback by this trailer. Now again, it's just a trailer. The end product may really piss me off all over again, but based on the trailer and based on how they've sold the trailer, this is meant to be like almost non-canon. It's like, we want you to make a thing about Star Wars and the Star Wars universe, and you Japanese anime guys, you guys are pretty crazy when it comes to stuff, and have at it. You know what I mean?
Canon, this is the most Animatrix shit I've seen ever since the Animatrix.
Yeah, and I for one, I loved the Animatrix and every weird little tale that I mean, to be well, it depends also how you feel about certain animations that are created in anime. Because I know you're not a big fan of Studio Ghibli and some of those looks. I didn't mention this in what I've been doing, but I did see the first 3 episodes of Yasuke, which is it's anime. It's an anime on Netflix that is it's a story of the black samurai, a samurai who apparently of legend was a slave who became a servant in Japan and for some way or another became a samurai. And of course there's all this thing, the samurais can't, whatever, but people forget that samurais were also servants. But anyway, I
like to remind everybody that we're still talking about Star Wars.
I know I'm just trying to get to is saying that Netflix anime is ugly. It just doesn't look. It looks really regular. It looks really vanilla. And I love anime that pushes the fucking barriers of what anime looks like. So some people don't. I get that. You want to have your really good traditional looking anime. For me, I loved the Animatrix, and I loved it when it went on just these wild, different looking things. Same thing with Love, Death and Robots. Same exact thing, where it's like a lot of it's is CGI, but there are some of it that's not, and it's just, I love it when it goes into those nice new looking, just different. And here it's doing exactly what we want for Star Wars. So it's like, let go of the Skywalker lineage, let go of everything of Star Wars. Star Wars is a universe. How can every story be connected to the Skywalker? It doesn't make fucking sense. So it feels like this may be one of those rare gems that outside of the obvious furry, that actually has that actually has an interesting story to tell that is not connected. Yes, I did see what looked like Boba Fett, but it could just be another Mandalorian because they all typically wear the same armor. So that's what I'm hoping for. But in the end, that's what caught me. It's like, oh my god, there's going to be possibly new stories that can be well told and that can be uniquely animated. And that just left me like, yes, I'm in. I want this. Am I going to be disappointed? Who knows?
Yes.
But just from the
You will.
trailer,
But
I
you wanted
was
this.
but just from the trailer, I was taken aback by the trailer. I guess I was expecting it to just be garbage. And not only did it not end up being, it really got me excited. And so that's my trailer of the week. Star Wars Visions.
mhm.
What is your trailer of the week, sir?
Well, before I tell you, I feel like I need to give a counterpoint for
Okay, yes,
Star Wars Visions being my pick of trailer of the week, because it wouldn't, because honestly, it'll take more than just seeing an anime version of a samurai movie, but with lightsabers. I know that sounds awesome, but the fact that they're making it, like when I saw that, I was like, okay, this could be awesome. This could be interesting. It's still Disney, so have expectations. Temper your expectations, but knowing that it's just a series of short animatrix style not movies, but films,
Shorts.
like very short.
Shorts.
Yeah, so that is substantially less exciting, because like I'm a huge fan of The Matrix, the one movie, and not the sequels, and I thought I was going to be all in when I started seeing about the Animatrix, but what I saw was, those shorts were like, okay, it's someone's interpretation, which it's cool, I guess, but like half of it was kind of disposable, because it could be like, okay, well, this lore doesn't make sense, it doesn't fit well with what it is. It's not even the idea of the what if series that Disney and Marvel are doing with the heroes. I can't even say it's that, because it's meant to be taking like stories from
different corners of the galaxy.
Right? But with the caveat that this is Disney, of course they're gonna of course you're gonna see the Skywalker lineage, and when I mean it, I mean like any of the characters you mentioned, possibly see a possible Boba Fett sighting, but of course they're gonna give the fan what I guess they want. If that's what, if you want to see, like, Luke again, if that's what you want to see, and I already seen. And also the style of it. There was one short that I saw that looked really cool, and everything else, which is the one that looked very close, very samurai-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else looked
the first one.
Yeah, the first one. Everything else looked kind of like generic and like whatever. Like I probably wouldn't care to watch anything other than that first episode. If I want to see an anime that had a really cool style, and that was anime that was bringing something different, I will YouTube TIE Fighter short film and watch that. It's 7.5 minutes, or I think they might have done 8 minutes. No, I think it's 7.5 minutes, and it is awesome. Also, another one is the Star Wars Squadrons. Speaking about the Star Wars Squadrons, the game you were playing, it also has its own animated short called Haunted, which is a 9 minutes cinematic trailer. If we can call 9 minutes a trailer 9 minutes, but it's his own thing. It's his own animation, and it looks really rad. So I'm okay. I'm good in that kind. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and pick the other option. Oh, also, Star Wars furry. No, thank you. I'm gonna do a
I will
hard
have you
pass
know
on that shit.
we've always had a Star Wars furry, and his name was Chewie. But go ahead.
But not like this. Not like this. I'm sorry. It just I don't mean to offend the furry community, but
yeah. I got you.
I
You
don't
caught
care
my
about
eye
you,
too,
so-
and I was just like, interesting
it's what it
choice
is.
here.
Yeah, no. That's a hard pass on my part. But you did show me one that surprised me, and I am kind of interested on seeing. And it's a movie called Bestsellers, which is the one you mentioned that had Sir Michael Caine and Aubrey Plaza and Ellen Wong and the rest of the cast. It looked like something that could be actually fun and endearing. And from what I gather, it looks like it has to do with an old writer that the publishing company is trying to, I guess, cash in on a publishing deal. It's like, hey, you still need to write us one book.
Yeah, you still owe us one.
You still owe us, yeah. For whatever reason, whatever is the reason behind the publishing company. And the trailer looked nice. It looks like something that I'll be interested in watching. I'm not sure if it's gonna be quality at the end of it. It looks like
Michael Caine.
it could
We
be.
all know Michael Caine is,
It's very hard.
He is quality, basically.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be. You would have to actually try hard to miss with Sir Michael Caine on a movie. Not to say it's impossible, but it's I would like to see this movie. It looks like it could be an endearing piece, and like I said, I would choose it by default over Star Wars Vision because Star Wars Vision looked alright. It looked alright, but not really.
It's okay. I put it up there.
Not feeling it.
It's okay. We're also gonna put bestsellers up there. By the way, Ellen Wong, this Knives Chow, the hell she's been, bro?
Exactly. I knew that
Yeah.
scene is somewhere. It's like, wait a minute. Yeah, that is Knives Chow from Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim, yeah.
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza, I will definitely say, is one of those actresses that has.
Aubrey Plaza was also on.
She was also in she was. Yeah, absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. This is like a reunion. Was Michael Caine there too? I don't remember. No, just
If he was, he was Scott Pilgrim.
She started off at in Parks and Rec and stuff like that, and I mean probably after Scott Pilgrim, but she it's like one of those things where I just can't wait for her to have an awesome breakout role that puts her up on the full spectrum map, you know what I mean? Because she has a lot of indies and there's a lot of independent films, stuff like that, and she's really, really, really talented. And it's just one of those things where man, we look waiting for that role to hit. There's actually a lot of good stuff out there, and I don't know if this is going to be it. It could be, because as we all know, in order to be a hit, you got to hit with the mainstream, and this kind of feels mainstreamish as far as the film bestsellers. So I am too still interested in this, but you're
not convinced that it could be a bestseller yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could be the next fucking Sleepless in Seattle, for all we fucking know. You know what I mean? But
I hope not. But
but yeah, for some reason I just got really taken back by Visions. But no, I understand your objection. So anyway,
show me furry, and I was like, nope. Immediate fail. It's like
That's great.
You show no restraint. I don't know what else would you pull off. So nope.
Yeah.
I want to skip that.
I don't blame you, sir. I don't blame you. All right, so that's our trailer of the weeks. Trailers of the week, not weeks.
Trailers.
And
no, we'll go
moving
ahead and
on.
pick yours. What the hell?
excuse me. Moving on to the Mouthful Radar, I do want to shine some light on two games that came out this week. One, I'm sure you already know, everybody's been expecting, it's been highly anticipated, and that is, of course, 12 Minutes, which looks like a time loop game that's exclusive, a console exclusive right now, currently on the Xbox side, but it is also on PC. And we saw this in many of E3s and stuff like that, and it looked really, really cool. So far, it's actually getting pretty decent reviews. So if you're interested, keep it. It came out on the 19th, which would have been Wednesday. Also on the 19th came out Recompile, which I actually shared a trailer in the group. Little indie title that looks really cool. That is available on Xbox and PS5 and PC. Also came out on the 19th. So those are the excuse me, those are the two that came on the radar for the Mouthful. And with that, let us move into the useless news that you can use.
And this is the most useless that they have ever been.
Oh my god, yeah. I have literally nothing.
If I can scrape
that's not even an exaggeration.
No, it's just nothing happened. Nothing of make. I mean, I already talked about Quake.
That's probably the most major one, and we already know about it. So
I mean, what else is happening well, let me see. OnlyFans, it's banning porn now, so good riddance, right?
I didn't even know anything. I don't understand a word that just came out of your mouth. What was that? I'm sorry, I missed out.
No, if you missed out, you're gonna have to listen to the recording now.
Okay. All right.
OnlyFans, don't even pretend, sir. I'm telling you, cancel your subscription to OnlyFans. No, you're not a subscriber. You're actually a content creator.
Okay.
They're not doing. Well, they're not doing explicit anymore. Is what allegedly, but
okay. Yeah, so now I do have to cancel because I'm like, well, then what's the point, right?
Exactly. What's the point of creating? If you're not gonna get paid anymore, then what's the point exactly? So let me see. Okay, well, I'm gonna scraping from the bottom of the barrel here, just in time. If you haven't played the 18 versions that have already preceded it.
Oh God.
Skyrim Anniversary Edition brings next gen upgrades and fishing. Oh my God! They just. This is it. This is the definitive edition.
They had fishing before. I feel like that was part of it before.
No, it was. I mean, there were mods for the crazies that wanted to do that, but no, they had to put fishing on it. Bethesda has announced a new version of Skyrim at QuakeCon 2021 in celebration of the game's 10-year anniversary and the 10,000 versions that are out there. The new version, dubbed Skyrim Anniversary Edition, arrives November 11 on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, probably your Alexa, probably some Tesla vehicles, and you probably own it already. You don't even know.
It's possible.
Yes. Game Boy Advance, Virtual Boy, the Intellivision, and Google Stadia. Skyrim Anniversary Edition is the game's most definitive version, quote unquote. It includes the base game and all 3 expansions, but the big news this time is the inclusion of 500 pieces of Creation Club, which are mods, content. This content brings much to the game, from simple things like weapons and spells to more meaningful additions like quests and bosses. Amongst them are also fishing, survival mode, and new Saints and Seducers quests. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of worried about that. That could be. Alongside Anniversary Edition news, Bethesda also announced that owners of Skyrim Special Edition on all platforms, including Xbox Game Pass, will get we'll get 3 pieces of Creation Club content: fishing, survival mode, and new Saints and Seducers quest. Well, gee, thank you for throwing the scraps. For those out there that can get an Xbox One, we have the Xbox 360. Let them have cake. This, honestly, no, I'm not even gonna continue. That's who did anybody ask for another Skyrim? I mean,
No,
raise
but-
your hands. I'm sure the fans are out there. It's just
No one
Skyrim,
asked
bro.
for it, but
I mean,
They're just gonna
Skyrim is
keep
a
releasing.
great game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a crap. I'm saying versions after version after version after release of our game that came out 10 years ago. It's it's borderline predatory at this point, right?
I mean,
No, it's
it
not.
may
It's not.
be. It may be. I mean, I honestly, you say that, but it may be because that's how they know the gamer mentality. They're like, oh shit, I can play it on this now. Yes.
Yes, the
You get
definitive
it, and
version.
you literally spend an hour in it and go, fuck, yeah, I did all this already.
If
Oh,
you
that was
tell me,
cool, it looks good.
yeah,
You know, that is in many ways predatory. Okay, I mean, if you really think about it. Obviously, I don't fall for that shit, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean others don't, and they know that. That's what I'm saying.
That
They wouldn't
doesn't mean
release
others
it. They would
don't
not
fall
be
for that
doing
shit.
this if they knew it wouldn't spike some sales. It's just the
well,
truth.
it's easy, it's an easy thing to do, right? I mean, they already have the game, the content, everything. It's not difficult to spruce up the code that is recent, and just give you that in the meantime. If you bought the special edition of this game on any platform, I feel like, come on, bro. This is just the upgrade. This is what this just sounds wrong. It just feels wrong to be charging for a 10-year-old game that you have released so many times, and that your fans, the people that
This should
will care
just
to
be-
buy this,
This should just
have
be a
already
free
bought
update.
several times.
Should just be
Yeah.
a free update is what it is, and hence the reason why I go back to it is predatory. It's what it is. I mean, it's
it
not
gave me
forcing
Quake
you to buy
for
anything,
free.
but yeah. I mean, sure, okay, sure.
If it could do it, why can't you with this? I mean, granted, the Quake is probably like 25 years old, but still.
I mean, no offense, but Skyrim feels 25 years old at this point, considering how many times it's been ported.
You're just mad that they never gave you a good PS3 version, which is the version you wanted to play.
I was all in. I was all in. And then that shit happened. And then they basically said, after God knows how long, you know what, guys? We can't fix this. We don't know what this for the MCell processor is bullshit. It's like it was meant to run like MRI machines, but for some reason they put it in my damn console. Anyway.
By the way, that was my last piece.
Okay. All right. So we'll quickly go. I have you had to scrape the bottom of the barrel. I am now picking up the little scraps that fell off your spoon.
Wow.
Okay.
Holy
FYI. So,
let's talk politics.
earlier this week, a handful of Cyberpunk 2077 devs jumped onto CD Projekt Red's official Twitter channel to provide an overview of the game's upcoming 1.3 patch.
Ooh.
And the new in-game content the studio plans to make freely available to everyone who downloads it. Like most things having to do with this notoriously broken game, however, the underwhelming showcase seemed to leave viewers wanting more, to say the least.
Wanting more.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red has released several small patches to address the Cyberpunk core performance issues, but it remains a black mark on the studio's reputation. Quote, "This is our first stream of this kind," said Quest designer Patrick Mills. "Since launch, as all of you are definitely aware, things are have not gone exactly as planned. So this is
Really?
something we are experimenting with. We know that there's not a lot of communication from us about what's going on with the project. Here we are with things and why things are taking so long. This is our attempt to sort of try to fix that situation. After detailing a few of the quality of life changes that are coming to Cyberpunk 2077 in the new patch, like a new mini map that actually expands when you enter the vehicle, and devs preview some of the small downloadable content offerings the patch will include, they let a lot to be desired, basically amounting to a couple of new jackets, a new car, and an alternate look for Johnny Silverhand. Apathetic stream watchers, frequently derided the proceedings, demanding more from the devs and using emotes like resident sleeper to drive their lack of enthusiasm home. So in essence, guys,
It didn't go very well,
it didn't
did
go
it?
very well for them, and it didn't go well because they obviously had nothing to say of importance. Nobody wants a new jacket if the fucking game can't even, play it well enough. So,
No.
all right. My next little snippet here. 343 Studios has announced that it is delaying campaign co-op and forge mode for Halo Infinite until after launch, as the developers focus on getting the single player campaign and multiplayer done in time for holiday release.
Ooh.
Yeah. In an update on their official Halo YouTube channel, Halo Infinite head of creative Joseph Stefan. Wait, head of creative?
Really?
Whatever. Confirmed that
Who
neither
was that? Polygon?
no, this is IGN. Confirmed that neither
Okay, there you
campaign nor campaign co-op nor Forge will be in Halo Infinite at launch. 343 confirmed that Halo Infinite is 100% committed to release the anticipated shooter this holiday. So, of course, what that means is, guys, cut off the fat. We need to release this on this holiday.
It sounds like,
what can we get? Yeah, what can we let go?
Oh shit. That's basically how I'm rating that.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
agree. That's how I'm reading it too, for the record. And then finally, a little Marvel Marvel MCU news. While Marvel's Ironheart series for Disney Plus is still ways off, fans will be getting their first introductions to the character ahead of the show's premiere. Ironheart star Dominique Thorne will make her MCU debut as Riri Williams in Black Panther Wakanda Forever next year. Now, this was confirmed by Variety. For those who don't know, Ironheart is the new follow-up character to Iron Man, played by not played by, but the character, her name is Riri Williams. I don't know if she is from Wakanda, but I always, considering how high tech and advanced Wakanda was, it always made sense that that's where she came from. But clearly, that's where they're going to first show her off. And frankly, I can't wait to see it. I mean, it's going to be great to me to have, first off, another female superhero, which we are desperately short of. And and it was always a really cool character to me as well. In the comics, both her and Stark is alive and everything, in the comics. So they kind of work together in a little bit.
Oh, I have news for you, MCU.
Yeah, well,
I guess they know already.
Yeah, I would think so. So I'm curious to see what comes of it. I'm actually pretty excited for that. So, and that's it. That's all we have for the useless news. I think it was pretty useless this week.
Yeah, I might just cut it out completely.
I mean, no one will miss it.
Nobody wants to know about Skyrim?
I mean, I think they know about Skyrim. I think grannies, with their updated fridges know about Skyrim, and they don't even they don't care about it. So anyway, guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back with our hot topic. Well, we're
Yeah.
back, guys, and in case you missed it, we had a nice little conversation about furries, and all respect to them, but apparently we don't know as much as we did, or at least I don't. I thought I
don't
knew
care to
more.
find out.
As a matter of fact, I thought the Vieira,
Vieira.
the
Now you're
Vieira
referring to
race,
Final Fantasy 12's
Final Fantasy 12. Yeah.
character, the
I thought
race.
they had fur all over their body, just really,
No.
really short fur. But I thought they had fur, and apparently, every image I'm looking at here, no
It's
fur.
no,
That's all I'm
they're a race of or I guess female feline looking rabbits, but in real with human forms and
I don't
human
see the
faces.
feline,
And
though. Where do you see?
you
the
you
feline?
don't? I always
No.
thought that what's her name had feline characteristic, or maybe
The
that's
main
it's just
character?
her face, not the main
Fran?
character.
Yeah, well, Fran.
Fran.
Yeah.
Yes,
The-
yes,
the-
yes. The character, yeah, one of the characters of Final Fantasy 12. Um,
No, I
but
don't
you're
see
right.
it.
It's probably just I was probably looking too much into it. That's probably just it's just the shape of her face.
I
that
think
was-
her
kinda reminds
little
us-
her little crown that she wears. I don't think that helps.
I don't think that helps either. Right, right. But they're definitely not furry. See, I think
yeah.
to
And that's
qualify
it.
as a furry, you have to have fur all over. I would think, right?
You're asking me shit. I don't know about that.
Why are we in this subject? Why
I
are we
was
talking
just
about this shit?
I was just filling in blanks.
I don't even want to admit that we were having this conversation. I might just
Oh.
cut this whole shit off.
I mean, it's possible, but we're definitely going to go into the hot topic of the week.
Hot topic, and it's not about furry or anything related to that. We promise you.
No. It's all about gaming lingo, guys. So we wanted
Which
to
might
go
include
to
furries.
the what?
Which include furry. I mean, there's a big player in the gaming community that he is. He is a complete furry and super proud. And he showed it. His name is Sonic.
Sonic. Yes.
And I mean, he's amazing. He plays. It's
Yeah, he's
great.
a,
And he does it all in freaking furry characters.
Furry,
It's like
yeah,
crazy.
he does. He's in Evo. He's a big Evo player.
Yeah.
So,
Fanning
Yeah.
player.
So we're gonna go through some of the known and possibly unknown gaming lingo, and sort of, kind of, maybe update it, or maybe just say we need to do away with it, or I don't know, maybe shine a light on people who didn't know of a particular term. And I'm actually going to start with
The gaming
one I just learned.
Oh,
Even though you literally mentioned it early in the podcast, but I must have missed it completely. And that, of course, is hit scan.
hit scan. Yes.
Refers to weapons, usually in first-person shooter games, that immediately hit what they're aimed at when fired. So there's no time spent between pulling the trigger and hitting the target.
No. Just
In
like,
contrast to projectile weapons, essentially, like a bow and arrow, something like that.
yeah. Well, it could be I believe you can see a difference in the weapons on a Call of Duty game where you're shooting whatever you're shooting, you don't see the bullet. I mean, do you? I don't even know those games anymore. But I'm gonna assume that they're basing it on real life weapons. So therefore, no, you don't get to see the bullet like slowly traversing from the barrel of your gun all the way through the air until it hits the target, kind of like a very slow laser. Like Star Wars weapons will do that. Like their lasers will be like, they're fast, but you can see them. You know, you can see them coming almost. So whether on a game that uses hit scan, that does not use hit scan, will be a game like Destiny, for example, where you actually get to see the projectile being fired from your weapon for the most part, for most weapons, and therefore it's almost like you have more feedback with all the things that when you're hitting a target.
Mm-hmm.
rather than with a head scan that is like, I mean, unless you see the character obviously, demonstrating that they have been hit, you can't tell, often.
Okay.
Um,
So yeah, I mean, I think it's a technical term, and I think it should stay.
I think, yeah, that
That's
one.
obviously
I
makes
mean,
perfect sense. Yeah.
you don't see it too often, and I mean, yes, you do see it in games that are based on realistic ballistics and stuff, on realistic ballistics.
Nice.
But
Say that 4 times fast.
realistic ballistics. I messed that up. But yeah, I think it's a term that we should keep. That because it actually means something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It-
here's an interesting
As-
one. Oh,
uh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, as opposed to, and then I'll let you throw yours. Let me just throw a couple because
Yeah.
it's the other ones I know.
Oh, okay.
The very old and overused, and I don't know, this I like this term, but at the same time, I admit that it feels like its times already has passed, which is the people that say you got pwned.
Oh God, yes, I
And,
agree.
yeah, which is like a derivative on the word own, which is usually which is used to express superiority. How the fuck do you say that word?
Superiority.
Thank you. Over another player, just like this word just pawned me. That's a very classic term, and I don't see this generation really using it that
No,
much,
I don't think
if
so.
at
Yeah.
all.
I think we can officially retire that term because I haven't heard that.
Well,
I haven't even seen it in any conversations or anything. Or
I will retire from the gaming vernacular. Maybe I liked it as a real word, believe it or not. Even though it's a stupid, ridiculous word, it's not even spelled correctly. It's like PWNED. Now, funny thing is a little bit of a PSA actually. If you ever want to know if your passwords have been compromised, just go to www.haveibeenpawned.com.
Oh, okay.
And just enter your email. That's all you need to provide, the email. They don't sell anything like that. Or they say, no, I have reason to believe them. And it'll tell you, it'll hit scan, it'll scan a list of known websites that have had privacy breaches and stuff like that, and we'll let you know, hey, this password turns out is compromised because it was found on this list that was shared by hackers and here there, so you might want to update it. Just a little PSA there. Haveibeenpawned.com.
Oh, I like it. I think it's pronounced pwned. But yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yes, have I been pawned? Not pound.
Did someone pawn me?
Someone pawned me.
Here's an interesting one
Superiority.
that I wanted to. It was kind of interesting, and I said, I think it's time to maybe change it, not do away with it. AFK.
AFK. I'll keep AFK. I want AFK because, especially as a PC player, when you're away from keyboard,
I feel
means
like
a lot.
we've even said it in our group, like when we're playing on console. It's like, dude, hold
that's
on,
true because it's kind of and it is. You don't want to AFC away from control. It makes no sense. AFG again away from gamepad. It's no, we already have a term for determining I need to take a bathroom break, and therefore I'm gonna be away from the game. So I'm gonna be AFK.
I mean, you only really say it, I guess if you had to type it, is really the only time that makes sense. But
That's a lot.
We've actually verbally said it, so maybe we should just say we don't need to verbally say.
I'm gonna be AFK. I don't want to tell you I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to take a shit. I don't want to tell you that because I feel comfortable.
Bro.
So
Bio break. That's all you have to say. Bio break. Okay,
so
got
we're
it.
gonna change. We're gonna change AFK for bio break. Is that what?
I mean, that's usually why you're AFK. So
Well, but not always. What if I'm AFK because suddenly my wife is yelling at me because I've been playing for too long?
that sounds like a bio break to me.
I'm sorry. I need to take some shit. You mean take a shit? No, I'm gonna take some shit from my wife. She's gonna yell at me now for being playing with you.
For sure. What else you got, sir? What else you got?
Well, I didn't mean this to go back and forth, but I do have another one that I have never heard.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if you have actually.
If you have it, I probably haven't. But go ahead.
Smurf. Like
A Smurf?
yes, like a Smurf. Yes, a Smurf. Smurf is a Smurf account in an online game refers to a skilled player making a secondary account to play with lower ranked players. Smurfs manipulate the ranking system in order to keep their account at the desired skill level. So
I've heard of doing that. I didn't know that was called Smurf.
I did not. I did not know that it was called Smurfy either. It's. I mean, like I understand the concept. Like, let's say if I'm to, way too higher level on a particular game that does not do leveling check, that doesn't equalize the leveling for my friends to play, and I might have to make a lower tier character to be able to play with my friends, then I'll be creating a Smurf, I guess. That's a weird one. I did not know that it was called that, and I'm hoping that it never catches on.
No, I mean, I guess it would be considered a Smurf account, but it kind of makes sense a little bit. Just thinking of, but yeah, that's I have heard of people doing that, obviously, but yeah. I didn't know that's what it's called. But pretty cool. One that I'm going to throw out here that I've said already, I think DLC is
DLC. Yeah, you
not
know
exactly me? I mean, everything is DLC, right? At this point, every game is DLC. So do we need to say DLC? I mean, is DLC? I mean, I guess if you say DLC, you kind of know it, but I feel like it's not. Doesn't mean the same thing anymore. DLC used to be, hey, some additional content that you'd have to download for your
Isn't
game.
it anymore though?
Is what?
Isn't it anymore though? Isn't it every game that we download technically DLC?
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, well, we can't, I can say now that, freaking Hades. I got Hades DLC because I downloaded Hades.
It's not the same when you use it for this is an expansion or additional content for a game that you own versus saying this is the game that I have to download. That now we download our games, so therefore it's everything is DLG, downloadable game.
Yeah. I mean, I think we use it in the sense that, like you said, to pinpoint
to specify expansion.
Special stuff. Yeah, stuff outside of the main game. I just feel we need a new term. I think that term is, it's run its course, unfortunately. But
I subscribe to making it, to just bringing it back to it's just an expansion. But then again, how can we say like the smaller content, like if it's not an expansion really, if it's just like stupid
then it's just
shit,
a content drop.
It's like content, yeah. Okay, I can get it. It's a little bit of a content drop.
Yeah, I mean, like for instance, the
I think we
cyberpunk.
just replaced one vernacular with another, one slang with another slang, though. I
I
don't
mean,
think
that's
we're
what we're
making
supposed to be doing.
progress.
We're Webstering this, right? So we need to clean stuff up a little bit. But I mean, I just feel like you understand that, like for instance, the cyberpunk shit that they just mentioned recently, where it's like, oh, so the patch has this and then it's just a bunch of it's a new car, a couple outfits. It's like that is a content drop. That's all that is. So,
Content
you know what I
drop.
mean?
That's a content drop.
Yeah. An expansion, on the other hand, you expect that an expansion will have like actual either story content or some sort of new chapters or who knows what it
Maps
already
or
sort of it sets an expectation as what you're gonna get. So
yeah. I will say this. I don't like when the term is used loosely to content that is already on the disc and you have to pay to unlock it.
yeah, that I can
You remember
definitely
that will happen? Oh, this DLC, but the DLC is already on the disc. It's like, no, fucker. This is
you're not downloading anything, you're just
no.
unlocking it.
This is at that point it's just let's call it what it is, a cash grab.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm paying whatever amount of money for 30 kilobytes of data that will unlock what I already have. Yeah, good stuff.
Here's one that it makes perfect sense for what it's trying to say, but I don't feel like the name. How can I say? Like the name makes sense. It's just I wish it wasn't called this. I feel like it's a lazy way to define something.
Okay.
That word is Metroidvania.
Ooh.
The definition of Metroidvania, which is usually the presence of an interconnected overworld that is not open but gated by specific abilities the player collects as they progress through the game. More that seems to be like the definition that tends to be the consensus of what this is. A lot of other people focus a little bit more. It's like games that are also game focused on combat and exploration. Others say that, well, it's an exploration game that is not linear and they have many secret hidden secrets in the overworld. And they tend to limit those to 2D games that use this side-scroller perspective and usually platforming mechanics. So it's almost like saying, well, because this game has this strict characteristic, it's a side-scroller with platforming elements and exploration, that it's open as you gain abilities. You are playing a Metroidvania game.
I kind of agree to an extent on this. That I feel like we have had so many games that fit that criteria to the point where it's almost a disservice to those games that are coming out that are one-upping sort of Metroid and Castlevania. I think of Hollow Knight, for instance, a perfect example of a classical Metroidvania. And I look at Hollow Knight and go, but Hollow Knight is light years ahead of what Metroid and Castlevania are doing. It almost feels, insulting to Hollow Knight to put it into these little things that, it's a Metroidvania game. It's like, well,
true. I think that it's more like recognizing its roots, right? Because Hollow Knight and games like Ori, right? Like Ori and the Blind Forest and even the Axiom Verge, those are certainly games that we can say, well, they have matured over what came before it, but and of course they had. It's obviously a different technology. It was, and obviously years has passed, and but there's no doubt that those games were the progenitors, right? The first time before Castlevania, there was no Castlevania, there was no other game. I mean, yes, we have Mega Man and we have other games that were similar in the idea of, well, it's a world, it's
but you're
side
not really
scroller and all that,
exploring. There's no
but you're
exploration
not
in there.
right. So this one, getting, and also Metroid had that distinction also, that it was kind of similar to the way a Castlevania game will be, except that in this one there's a lot of it, the focus was mostly exploration. So you mix them together, and it's easy to put them both. It's easy to recognize them both as a thing, and the term, and that's where the term Metroidvania makes sense. I just wish that there was a term that existed that will convey the same idea without using the name of the two games that were that were the first ones.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing can be said about Soulsborne, right? I mean, it's like, oh, this is a Soulsborne type of game.
Soulsborne, because Dark Souls and
Bloodborne.
And Bloodborne.
And most people actually just say Souls. This is very Souls-like.
Yeah.
But the term
It's like
Soulsborne
roguelike.
also, yeah, exactly. I don't know, it's an easy way of saying what it is. But I mean, guys, the other option would be to call it the side-scrolling action RPG.
Yeah.
That's really the only other thing I can think of. It has RPG elements, right? Because your character is getting stronger, and
yeah, but not always, because I mean, you got some like I don't think in Ori you're progressing that way. You're still unlocking areas and stuff, but I don't think you necessarily have the RPG element progression.
And you do in Hollow Knight for sure. You're consistently getting new stuff, and
yeah. I think
interesting.
This might be one where the turn, even if it's an ugly term, it fits so well that we might as well leave it alone. Because it conveys what it is very well.
Yeah.
And if you guys
know exactly what they're talking about. If I say,
Yeah.
dude, this game came out. This is the name. It's a Metroidvania. It immediately tells you kind of already have the gist of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know? And it may obviously blur the lines a little bit, but you already know what to expect when you see it. So yeah, that's still a good one. It's a hard one though. You're absolutely right. I feel like that's so ingrained.
Yeah.
And we have so many of them now. So that's the other thing. We're always hearing that. Here's an interesting one, sir. I don't hear it much anymore, so I feel like it's probably already kind of done, but MMORPG.
MMORPG.
We don't really hear that term. For the record, for anybody who doesn't know, massively multiplayer online role-playing game. They still exist, and they tend to be the same ones that have been out. There's not a lot of development or publishing companies are going into that fucking market, but you also have some games that blur the line, right? Destiny kind of blurs that line a little bit to say, well, this is kind of does the same thing.
The thing with the term, well, yes and yeah, but not quite, because when the term gets thrown, like what makes a distinction of an MMORPG is, or MMO for short, because that's what I feel like most people actually call it, is having a vast a vast world where you have a lot of players at the same time. You don't get divided into instances. I mean, you can go into instances for dungeons and stuff, but for the most part, for the overworld, for the most part, is it's populated by a lot of players, and I feel Destiny doesn't really do that except in the tower. I feel like in Destiny, the tower is the only instance where all the players are, but the moment you start going to other areas, yes, there are sections where if you do the patrols, you might encounter a few players here and there, but even the count is so small that I wouldn't consider it a massively multiplayer game, even though massive amount of people do play it,
Yeah.
but that's not what the spirit of that definition is. That definition fits more, games that you're right, you don't see often being made new anymore. I feel like right now the two strongest contender, even though there's a lot more, but the ones that are like really ducking it out right now is World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14.
14.
So those are the two that it's like, yes, you go into that world from the moment you log in, you start playing, all the way through, you're encountering, other players doing about their thing, and it is a cool experience because it is that oasis from Ready Player One kind of feel of, oh, that's another avatar doing their thing. You could recruit them to help you if you want, or they might be doing their own thing, or they might be calling, or you can talk to them, or you can do whatever, or you can just leave them at the merry way doing their thing. It doesn't matter. We're just sharing this server that, oh, by the way, there's also hundreds of other people all around.
Yeah.
There are new games actually. Amazon had their one actually that they published that seemed to have been decently received. I forgot the name of it, but let me see. Amazon MMO, and believe it or not, that's another one that you don't expect to hear that it's out. A New World is what it's called.
Oh, New World. Yeah.
And that's something that's coming, and that people are playing. The people that played the betas and stuff, they enjoyed it. Also, let's not forget Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic is still alive and kicking in free to play world, but it's still alive and kicking.
Still out there.
Yeah. So yeah. There's certain games where I feel like to meet that MMO definition, you gotta show me the MM first.
The MM.
Show me the MMs, the M&Ms. Otherwise, you're just an MO. Multiplayer online.
Fair enough. I have one here, sir, that I am ashamed to say that I recently learned what it stands for. By recently, I want to say like in the last year or so. But I knew what it meant. I just didn't know what it literally stood for, and that is RNG. I did not know for the longest time that it literally means random number generator. However, I did know.
I did. You know what? I was just gonna say real quick. I did not know that until literally just now. I never learned what RNG meant. You just opened my eyes.
Oh, well.
So don't feel bad.
But I mean, you knew what it was about, right? I mean, you know what it was.
I knew that it had to do with something,
randomness.
but randomness. But I always thought it was related to epic versus normal versus powerful. The typical.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
What I say,
red and green.
yeah. Like purple usually is our epic. Blues are quality. Greens are good. White is just like vendor trash. Stuff like that.
It does in many ways because it comes down to what becomes available when you acquire the item, and it's completely random, right? So you don't like thinking of those things when you find those items. The thing is completely random as to how you get them. But I didn't know that the actual acronym stood for random number generator. And I just literally probably within the last year or so that I was like, what? Why such a weird freaking term for that? You know what I mean? And obviously you didn't really know. So I feel we need a term for this. We feel like we need to. This
It
one
makes,
definitely needs to either be updated or make more obvious.
it makes perfect sense because I've heard people using it a lot when referring to roguelites, and I'm thinking like, yeah, I guess roguelites has epic items, if that's what they're talking about,
I
maybe.
mean, it does technically. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it makes perfect sense now. Wow. I literally learned a new term just now.
There we go.
Just now.
How about that? How about
That's
that?
crazy. That's
You're
crazy.
welcome, kids.
Here I have one that this one should be known because I feel like this this a lot of games that have come out apply this type of, I guess let's call it genre. Walking simulator.
Oh, shit balls.
A walking simulator is when the player is invited to move through a virtual world, interact with its object, and observe the elements around them. They don't tend to feature combat, usually, right?
Not at all. I've not played one yet that has combat. So.
And you will think that they, because of that, the term tend to be used kind of like in a derogatory word. Yeah. It's kind of, hey, walking simulators. That's just a walk. It's just a boring walking simulator. But there have been walking simulators that are amazing.
No, for sure.
You have actually, I feel like a lot of them will be kind of like your joint. I'm talking about the vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Yes.
What remains of
Finch. Yep.
Yeah. What's the one where the famous one where it was like you go into a house?
Home.
Gone Home. Thank you. See, I didn't even have to say that. What's the one
you
where
go into a house?
Gone
Home. Nailed it.
Man, you'll be good at a game show about video gaming.
These things. Sure, yeah.
Firewatch, it's another one.
Yeah.
I know you were kind of lukewarm on it, but I've only heard good things about it. And yeah, those are games that, if you're looking for combat type, you're not gonna find in there. That's not what the games are about. These games are more about. It's almost like visual novels, where
it is. It's also, if you think about it, it's also like a interactive cutscene.
Like an interactive cutscene,
That's really what it's meant to be, because it's really meant to move the story. The story is the important part of what they're trying to do, but because it is an interactive medium, it lets you do certain things. It lets you move and move things about. And I mean, it's not, I don't want to say it's the best genre or anything like that. It's definitely a much more chill genre. And I have experienced some of the best stories from them. Virginia's another one that's excellent.
Virginia, you told me about it.
Love Virginia. That is such a freaking Twin Peaks freaking show.
That sounds awesome.
Show. You hear me? Fucking game. So you just got to know what you're getting into at that point. I think walking simulator is a bit derogatory, but at the same time, if you just put it aside and realize, so I don't mean this to insult, I just mean this to say, hey, this is what I'm trying to explain. You kind of know, like, this is basically a walking simulator. And
I would rather take interactive storytelling than walking simulator, because it's not about walking,
No, but it's what you're doing 95% of the time.
True. So, yeah. But yeah, it is. The term itself sounds derogatory. And that one, I will make an assumption. That one, I will say I'll probably change it to something else. I don't know if interactive storytelling is the best, because that's a mouthful.
Yeah. Or interactive. Storytelling. I mean,
yeah. Walking story. No, it's. I mean, the terms are kind of hard coded almost in the vernacular, just because it's what makes more sense. It doesn't make sense to call it something else. But if you guys have an idea of what to call that, then by all means, I'm open to suggestion, because I don't like the term. I I also do not like the term shmup.
I don't
fuck is a
freaking either.
shmup? What the fuck is a shmup?
A
I'm thinking a
shmup is
mushroom.
literally no offense to millennials. This is literally millennials not giving, like, don't even have the time to say shoot 'em up. That's what that is.
Yeah, they rather shmup
Nailed it. They rather just say shmup. And it's
shmup
like,
it.
look here, you shmup. No,
Listen, you shmups.
yeah.
I'd rather you call it what these games are for real, which are bullet hell. I like the term bullet hell because A is not too far from the truth. When you have so many fucking bullets that you have to try to avoid, it's kind of hellish. It's kind of like crazy. It's insane. I feel like it describes better the type of mechanic it is. But who knows? Maybe a lot of people don't use the term bullet hell for them because not a lot of. Not every shoot 'em up is necessarily a bullet hell.
True.
Yeah, they could be light on the bullets. Now I have an idea. Let's make a shoot 'em up with walking simulator and got a
walking shmup.
A walking shmup. Otherwise known as first person shooter.
yeah, I was gonna say, otherwise known as Returnal. There you go.
There you go. Oh yeah, I will qualify that.
Yeah, man, that's what it is. You're running around like freaking
running and gunning and a storyline.
Yeah.
You know, with a storyline of a walking simulator. Yep.
I forgot how fucking fast she fucking moved. Like she literally fucking Sonic the Hedgehog's.
Okay, running simulator then.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so I had one here and I just fucking lost this shit. Hold on. Oh, here we go. So here's an interesting one that we also don't hear a lot of. So it could be already gone, or I think everyone's accepted the, I guess, better descriptive, which is open world. Sandbox. We don't really hear sandbox games anymore. And I know they were considered a lot back in the PlayStation 2, early PlayStation 3 sandbox game, which, you know, a lot of you had your early GTAs. You had your what's the other one? What's the other one with the crazy GTA?
Saints Row.
Saints Row, you know, and all that stuff. And so those I can
Saints
see,
Row.
you know, we don't really see that type of game much anymore, even Saints Row, for instance. But we don't hear the term sandbox much anymore. So I think we can let that one go. What do you think?
I mean, the term makes sense. It's still, you know, you don't get a lot of sandbox exclusive, you know, games that are exclusively sandbox, but you can use the term sandbox to describe elements of the game where the player is kind of like free to do what they want.
True, but I always felt like the reason I didn't like, or not that I didn't like, but I didn't stick long with the GTAs and so that was because they were sandbox in the sense that it didn't matter where you go. There is a story, but nothing in the story pushes you to do anything. You can literally just spend hours doing anything. Well, nothing is urgent enough to move you along. And I feel like most games fall into the open world category now because there's a little nudge that makes you move on to the next major item. So maybe that's what it is.
That's because you don't play City Skylines. Thank you.
I don't play City. Although I tried, but I don't play it.
You tried it,
Yeah.
man. That's a rewarding experience from building your city. It's like sometimes I think you're dead inside, bro.
If I can only get it to like make the damn thing that I wanted to, and don't tell me no, I'll be fine. But it's always talk back. You never want a game that talks back to you. It says no, you can't do this right now because of this.
It's like, what do you mean I can't do it?
Because you're waiting for this, and we're like, no, I'm not waiting. What the hell? I'm playing a game.
Give me what I want. No, I'm kidding. You are very much alive inside, sir. I foreseen it. Season pass. I
Oh.
fucking hate this term. Season pass. It's the bane of what has happened to game. Let's take our game. Let's find other. I mean, it's not enough that we have DLC. We must now tie it to a term that we used to use for TV to make sure that you don't want to miss anything that happens on the season. Get the season pass. Oh yeah. You want to see your favorite NFL team? Buy the package and get the season pass. Fuck season passes for video games.
I
That's
hear
all I have
you.
to say.
And yet, yes, I will be getting the DirecTV season pass for
Oh
football.
no. For that. No. Yeah.
I know. I'm just
Season
saying.
passes for that, yeah. But for in gaming in general, it's like you can get an announcement for a game, especially one that you're interested in, without hearing about its season pass. And again, I have to fucking give it to Sony for showing restraint on this. You know, for the most part, none of the games you hear them talking about, oh, and pre-order now and get the season pass. You know, you don't get that because
Even Nintendo has gone with season pass. Their last
even Nintendo.
Breath of the Wild had a season pass.
Yes. Yeah. We will never do this to our games. We'll never do DLC. Come on. So yeah. It's one of my least favorite things that have happened to gaming. Is pretending to, oh, you better buy this piece of content or else you're gonna be losing. Yeah.
I mean, I get what they're doing. It's predatory and all, but I get what they're doing. And as a business, I understand it. But at the same time, I'm like, if your stuff is good, you don't really have to go through all that.
No.
People are going to want to continue to play.
If people want more, just offer it as just give them more, give an expansion, do another game very similar to it, like Spider-Man, like Marvel Spider-Man, and the Spider-Man Mike Morales. Do something like that again. Sony having it right on that one, but no. I gotta buy the game and then I gotta buy the season pass because otherwise I won't have the full game. But who knows? I may not want to have the full game. Yeah. Exactly. That said, I am getting the fucking Ubisoft's Far Cry 6 with the season pass because I know I want to play both. I have no doubt. I don't even sure if I'm saving money that way. I just know that I'm gonna want to play them both.
I will just be getting the game, and you can tell me about the season pass.
Yes, because you already play the Dragon. What's it called? Dragon what?
Yeah,
Blood Dragon. Yeah.
I do want to play it again, and I am pretty sure that they will eventually sell it a la carte.
Oh,
and I'll buy it then. You know what I mean? But yeah. So my last one that I have that I think, thanks to last year and a huge showing this year, the lines have been blurred as to what can be considered this and not. Now, it is normally considered that because of the size of the team, but the term is AAA games. And I want to go back to games like what is the name of it? Dear Lord, it's coming. The one with the rats.
The one with the rats. A plague something.
Yeah, thank you.
A plague tale.
This is a perfect example.
Of plagues.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of a team that is not EA, that's not Ubisoft, that doesn't have hundreds upon hundreds of employees. Making a game that can stand on its own with the big dogs. You know what I mean? And I feel like the lines have blurred when it comes to that. We're seeing more and more smaller teams. Sure, you have your small teams that release your 16-bit looking games and all this stuff, but you have a lot more smaller teams that are taking their time to really deliver these exceptional titles. I would say that Ninja Theory, right? Ninja Theory is the one who did Hellblade.
Yes. No, wait. Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
had they not been taken acquired by Microsoft, or prior to being acquired by Microsoft, that release of Hellblade, I mean, that game was phenomenal when it came. I mean, that could have been easily. You could have looked at it and go, "There's no way a small team did this." You know,
Mm,
it looks way too polished.
yeah.
You're not used to seeing it, and I feel with technology, one, and two, with talent, that the term AAA is starting to. That it's just the lines are blurring, and soon,
Certainly it's eroding. Yeah.
yeah, and soon it's just not even going to mean the same thing anymore. It will literally mean this comes from the big dog over here, EA or Activision, or that's what it's going to mean. Which what does that mean? That it's just it's a mass produced piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is that really when you want to say it? You know what I mean? So yeah,
I like that. I like when, I mean, not that I was super enamored with the term AAA game, but I certainly understood what they were explaining. And then like people started talking about double A games, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know what you mean. These are games that they're not the big ticket items, but it's just the normal games that get released. Aside, you're separated from like your Skyrim or GTA or
yeah. It was all your
Last of
THQ
Us.
games,
So
like the
yeah, it was
OG
those.
THQ games. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
they're
those
still mass
games.
produced, but they're produced cheaper. Not a lot of
Yeah.
focus on quality all the time, and really meant to just make
Well,
a
you can
game,
get
put it out
some.
there.
Yeah, you can get some good games that were,
Yeah, for sure.
double A for sure. Because even as yours, the description that you're giving, it almost sounded like, oh no, that sounds like a B tier, C tier at most. Because there's no like double A games. I feel like there is an emphasis of quality. It's just the fact of the matter is that even the developer know, okay, this is not gonna be a blockbuster. This is just going to be uh it's just gonna sell to its fans, and that's fine. We just want make a game for the fans for the fans that like it, and hopefully attract more people and sell more. But we know it's not gonna compete against fucking Red Dead Redemption.
So give me an
And
example of a perfect double A game. Like what would you consider a double A game?
a double A game nowadays, oh shit, that exists nowadays. Fuck.
All right, I will throw mine out there, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. A double A game to me would be like Control.
Yes, I
Just a
will
game
say
that's made by a smaller team than normal,
yes.
not an indie sized team, but still
No.
not a huge team either. It's made on a certain budget.
Mhm.
Because I think it was like 30 million euros, something very low, believe it or not,
Mhm.
is what they actually used to make that on. But they were pushing for quality, right? The point
Yes.
was to deliver a quality product
Yes, yeah,
within the
that
budget.
makes perfect sense. See, yeah, because that would be a game that, and of course the expectation. I mean, I'm sure the publisher had expectation of making this into like a crazy franchise, probably, and they're thinking, oh, this is a AAA title because everybody's fucking shooting every game now. They're trying to shoot for AAA, even the ones that should know on that realistically that's not going to be possible. But everybody wants to think that their game is AAA, and that's not the case. I feel like back in the day, we were more conservative with that term. It's like, okay, we know that a game like Control, it's a great game. It's a fantastic game. It's not a AAA title because the expectation is not there. It's not a blockbuster. It's not a midnight release or anything like that. It's just gonna be a good game. It's not like fucking the release of Mass Effect 2 or something like that. But I was gonna say even Returnal. A game like Returnal is another quality game, very well made.
On a small team.
A small team, yeah, exactly. I'm sure Sony would love to think that game a AAA title, but the fact of the matter is, no,
They
it's not.
tried.
It didn't sell. They didn't. They
Yeah,
might they
they
might
tried.
market
Yeah.
it as if, but the reality is, yeah, no, it's still fantastic. It doesn't take anything away. I feel like the last A has no reflection on the game's quality. It's more like, where's the gamer expectation? Because you could have.
I would say that the last A, or the lack of the last A, early on was B level. And it was mostly due to companies like THQ or your Midway.
Well, those are
Or,
B levels, though. That's what I
that's what
would
I'm
call
trying to
B
say.
level. Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm saying, well, that's the thing is B level equaled double A.
double A.
You know,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
see,
that
yeah.
was the whole deal because they're not indie, right?
No.
They have publishers. You have your Midway. You have
That's
your
not the shit
THQ.
on indies either. You
No,
know.
no, it's not the shit on these, but they weren't AAA because they weren't spending loads of money to on marketing and developing technology, and it's just
Mhm,
like, look, we're working with the tools we have. We license that, we're able to license Unreal Engine 3. We're going to
mhm,
use those assets. What I'm saying? It's like it's. I don't want to, and don't get me wrong, you got your gems, but for the most part, you were easily getting a solid 3 game.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It,
It's like,
it,
and
yeah.
sure, they were shooting higher, but most of the time, with time constraints, and because this is not a big budget title, you got a 3 title. You know what I mean? Is
Yeah.
what you were left with, and occasionally you found you had a gem that suddenly was like, whoa, that nobody was even expecting that. Kingdoms of Amalur, whoa, nobody expected that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's an absolute gem, but it was definitely a double A title when it came
Mhm,
out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
When it was finally delivered. So,
And you can have a AAA title that completely bombs and is terrible.
yeah, shits the bed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cyberpunk says hi.
Yeah, for sure.
The last, my last term, and I almost feel like there's. I mean, this topic is way too vast.
Oh my god, yeah,
Uh,
we can be here
it,
for days.
it shouldn't. Yeah. But I feel like it deserves at least a second parter.
Okay.
I think we should revisit because I feel like we left a lot of like main ones also, and we don't want to be too obvious either. Like we're not gonna say mention RPG. Everybody knows what an
No,
RPG is.
yeah, and let's be real. There's no changing it. It tells you exactly what it is.
RPG is an RPG.
Yeah,
Exactly.
RPG is
There's
an RPG.
no.
Why
Yeah.
are we gonna? Yeah.
Yeah, and JRPG, it's same as RPG,
But it's a style. There's
Yeah.
a style. It's very Japanese style. Yeah.
Yeah.
May not be from
So-
Japan, but it's very Japanese style.
Oh, that's true. It might not be from Japan. I feel like it should be from Japan.
Sure, but realistically, I
but
feel
I hear
like
you. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you have, I don't know, a team in the Netherlands who are just love JRPGs and they create
Yes,
one and it
that's
looks
true.
and feels like it's like, well,
That's
it's
true.
yeah.
That's an NRPG. My last term, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be cloud gaming. And yes, whether you like it or not, that is a
Is that
term.
still a thing?
Is here to stay. Yeah. It's not disappearing. It might have been the flavor of the month, but it's not gonna disappear like motion controllers because I feel like this one there is still a potential, and the technology could get to the level to where it is a reality. But cloud gaming refers to the growing market that allows players to play any game on any platform without worrying about having a powerful console or computer to run their favorite titles with the highest sounds and image quality possible. With cloud gaming, the player only needs a good internet connection to not only to show the images, obviously, but also to transmit the controller inputs to an external server that is God knows where. Cloud gaming is so yeah. So cloud gaming is good. It's definitely valuable for people that are unable to afford new generation consoles or a gaming computer. It's still not considered a eco-friendly option as it consumes a high amount of energy, and the definition that they put here, it says cloud gaming is also known as game on demand or game as a service. I understand where they're trying to make the distinction, but I think in the game,
games
like
as a service is definitely
gaming,
different.
the way that we use, I mean, cloud gaming is gaming as a service. That's literally what it is, but that's not the way we use it. And we are going to have the definition of gas on the next episode. Remind me. But
it's happening.
Yeah, but yeah, it's available. it's a technology that's available right now on Google Stadia if you
Google
want to try
Stadia.
it.
Yeah.
Xbox,
Proceed with caution.
consider caution, yeah. Xbox X Cloud,
I actually
Amazon.
heard decent stuff about XL. But go ahead.
It works. Yeah, it
I heard it's
works.
functional. It's very
Yeah,
functional.
yeah. Amazon Luna, which is a thing, and Nvidia's GeForce Now. And I feel like this one I don't know if purposely or not, but they left PSN Now. PSN Now is it what it's called?
Oh,
What's it called?
PlayStation Now, yeah.
PlayStation Now? Yeah, that's another one also. So yeah, the concept of cloud gaming could actually benefit a lot of people. It's just the implementation right now. It's not the best. It's certainly a start. Google Stadia fumbled it, and because it fumbled it so badly, I feel like a lot of
It knocked
publishers
it
might
back.
be a little
Yeah,
gun
knocked it
shy
back.
about doing that. Unless you're called Ubisoft, which Ubisoft is Netflix, they'll try anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But
Yeah.
there's not a single cloud gaming service here that does not include Assassin's Creed somewhere.
Mhm.
I'm telling you. But yeah, man, that's where we're gonna leave it now. Stay tuned. I do want to revisit this again.
I do, because we do have. First off, let's get it out of the way. One that's great and will always remain is GG. I mean, good game. Hello, that's not going anywhere.
It better not, because I'm not gonna change the name of our group again.
Yeah, I hear you. It is etched in stone. But no, yeah, there are shitloads of terms and stuff within gaming vernacular that I think do deserve either revisit or maybe just a discussion like what we did with the Metroidvanias. Like, yeah, that's an interesting one. Even though
Maybe this term is shit, and we should probably disappear it because it sounds, not inclusive, and I don't know.
Exactly. Like FPS. Who fucking plays FPS?
nobody.
This is bullshit.
First
so simple.
person. It's called first people shooter. All right.
I mean, it's
It's
what
called
it is.
murder simulators. All right.
You know what I didn't mention? Well, we don't have to talk about it now, but I didn't mention was Katie. Is it KDR or KDR? No, Kill Death Ratio. Kill Death Ratio, right? Kill Death Ratio, yeah. That's one there where obviously I'm not in those camps to even say, but it's just if there was a term that just echoes elitist, it would be that fucking term. I don't even know why.
It describes perfectly. It is what it is. Yeah, it is something. I'm just happy that I learned what the fuck RNG meant, and my eyes have been open.
Yeah. Like I said, and I'm not far behind, bro. It was just like I said, it wasn't. I didn't know this for the longest time, and that's a term that's been used for a while. So yeah. So well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and as always, please, if you haven't already, go to goodgame.rocks and join the conversation there. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week, saying praise the sun, because that's just at this point, that's all it's about. Mr. David Santos, Mr. Dream Twister, take us home.
I'm just happy that I finally learned what the fuck RNG means. Yeah. I'm still blown away. It's like, for fuck's sake, how did I play and not realize what this was about? All the conversations that I have participated on where I just nodded like I understood, but I had no idea what they were referring to. And oh my God, do I need to go to forums now and retract or apologize or delete.
Or delete. Just gonna delete this comment and then
delete this comment.
You put a comment in there. I'm gonna just see myself out of this forum.
It's like, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know what I was talking about. It's fucking RNG.
So
I was RNG'd. Sorry.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, guys. So we'll see you next week.
GG!